Vanakkam Chennai, formerly known as Madras, it is the biggest city and the capital of Tamil Nadu. Known as the gateway to the south, Chennai has some iconic landmark buildings and temples dating back to the Britishers. Chennai is now home to some of the biggest names in Kollywood. Derived from Kodambakam, where most of the Tamil film studios are located. It is also home to some of the finest sporting superstars and sports franchise. HCL Cyclathon was launched by the HCL Group in 2023 with the mission to bring people together from all walks of life through a shared passion for cycling. The initiative has kicked off a one-of-its-kind movement where cyclists have found the perfect mix of fitness and recreation. Today, HCL Cyclothon is one of the largest road cycling events in India and the highest prize money cycling event in Asia. The initiative is hosted in Delhi, Chennai and Hyderabad, drawing 15,000 cyclists from across the country. HCL Chennai Cyclathon now gears up for its third edition and it promises to be a grand spectacle.
Good morning. Welcome to the HCL Cyclothon Chennai edition 2025. My name is Parshuram Chenji and I am here sharing the commentary box with Nigel Smith and Michael Joseph, and three of us are very excited to talk about the race with you. Um, as introductions go, I have raced competitively in India for the past 6 years. Nigel is a cycling coach with experience racing in the UK as well as India. And Michael is local to Tamil Nadu who knows the route and race very well. He's been riding on this exact same route for the longest time. Nigel, would you like to talk to us about the HCL Cyclathon initiative?
Sure. Good morning, everyone. The HCL Cyclothon was launched by the HCL Group in 2023 with the mission to bring people together from all walks of life through a shared passion for cycling. Today, the HCL Cyclothon is one of the largest road cycling events in India and the highest prize money cycling event in Asia. The initiative is hosted in Delhi, Chennai and Hyderabad, drawing over 12,000 cyclists from 25 states. It's held with the support of state governments. HCL Cyclathon provides a safe motor vehicle free environment for all participants. It sparked a unique fitness movement for all cycling enthusiasts, inspiring them to amplify their potential lead.
Good morning, everybody. We have about 30,000 riders start off this beautiful event in Chennai today, and there are 4 different places where the event is happening. We have Chennai, Bangalore, Hyderabad, and Noida, and we have a variety of people, including hobbyists, amateurs, and even pros riding this course. And the beauty of this race is they all ride together in the same course where we get to see a lot of action happening and different folks from different walks coming in and taking part in this event as well. This is the third edition in Chennai. There's already been editions happening in Noida, and we also have upcoming events in Bangalore and Hyderabad as well. And as you can see, there's people who have been taking part in this, and HCL has done a great job. And we're back. We're back to the start line now, and this is Michael, by the way, and I'll be here to take you over through the course routes, the technical details, aspects of the course, how the wind is going to play a part in this, and we're just having to look at the start lineup for the 50-kilometer men's elite race, which is set to start in about 4 to 5 minutes time. As you can see, the riders are all there, warmed up, getting ready to kickstart the action. Over to you, Nigel, to continue with your. Yes, let's go ahead, Nigel. There was some technical issue, but we're on back on.
Thanks, Michael. We're just looking at the assembly of the elite men's 50-kilometer race. They have been assembled onto the start line and they're just waiting to be flagged off, where my understanding is there will be a short neutral section of approximately 1 kilometer where they'll have to ride behind one of the race commissaires at approximately 15 kilometers an hour before the lead race referee motorbike will accelerate away and the riders will be flagged away and they'll receive the indication to start racing.
Yes, Nigel, I think the riders are actually, eager to kick off from the start line. I think the CFI officials are just going to give them a little briefing with regards to the safety. As we can see here, the route map is just being broadcasted on, where you can see the riders, ride through iconic landmarks towards Mahabalipuram, and then they take a U-turn and head back towards us, towards the finish line where we are. And it's going to be a pretty exciting race, and as you can see, there's a briefing which is just about set to start. And Parshu, what do you think is going to happen today?
Well, I'm really excited to see what happens in the elite race, because on a course like this one, which is pan flat, it makes for tough racing where it's going to be really tough for anybody to break away from everybody else. It's the bunch is always going to be stronger than an individual in this sort of a situation. So I'm excited to see what it takes to actually get some distance between you and the rest of the riders in the race. Um,
Well, yes, Parshu. I think it's similar. It's going to be somewhat similar to that. We have the hard hitters who are there right in the front, pan flat course, not much elevation gain as well, and we have the lineup over here. As you can see, these are the top 10 riders who are going to take part in the elite men. The start list is just moving on. I think we have about let's say 119 riders who are going to take start from this beautiful race. The wind, I think they're going to just have a little bit of headwind onwards, and then on the way back it's going to be slightly faster. I think, Nigel, you had a nice ride yesterday. First ride in Chennai. How did it feel? How was it?
First of all, it's a lovely surface to race on. It's very smooth tarmac. Thankfully, no potholes at all. So it's a lovely racing surface. As you mentioned, there was a slight headwind on the way out. On the way back, I was approximately 2 kph faster for the same effort. I'm sure these guys are going to be going a lot faster than I was yesterday, but we can expect a typical difference in speed, maybe 3 or 4 kilometers an hour between going out and coming back.
Oh, that's brilliant. That's exactly what we want to see. With the elites at the top of their game right now in India, and if we expect to see some fireworks, about 40-45 kmph upwards of that. And Parshu, quickly run us through what all different categories we have before these guys start off today. What can we expect?
Okay, so what we're looking at right now is the elite men's start. This is the biggest race of the day with the most prize money, along with the elite women's. The elite women's is going to start 2 minutes after the start of the elite men's. Apart from these two categories, we have 50-kilometer amateur male and 50-kilometer amateur woman category. Following that will be the 24-kilometer amateur male and woman category. Following which we have a 24-kilometer MTB category for both men as well as women. Following which, we have the category which is going to be seeing the most number of cyclists, the 15-kilometer green ride.
Well, great. I think people are all set at the stage. I could see Mr. Maninder Pal, who is the Secretary General of CFI, who's ready to wave the flag, along with Mr. Sundar Mahalingam as well. They're just about to get started, and the guys are all pumped up, fired up, and there's a lot of music in the background as well. And here we go. I think that's it. Kickoff 2025 Chennai edition HCL Cyclathon. The men's elite 50-kilometer race has just started. There's a little bit of smoke, but the riders have just cut through that you know, uh, like butter through hot, I mean, a hot knife through butter.
So what we're seeing now is something I think I just mentioned earlier. We're starting off with a neutral zone, so the race will be following behind a motorcycle that's going to be going at approximately 15 to 20 kph. They'll follow this motorcycle for approximately 1 kilometer, and then the guy on the back of the motorbike will wave his flag, and the race will be underway for real.
Yes, Nigel, I think the 1 kilometer mark, it's going to be all nice and easy. And once they get the signal to get the go ahead, I think it's going to be fireworks. As you can see, we have a little display on the side where it tells you what pace these guys are riding right now, and some riders who are there in the front. Talking about riders in the front, why don't we just have a quick discussion as to how we expect this race to pan out? Parshu, what do you think are the team tactics that will be displayed over here today?
Well, for starters, I'm going to say this much. It's going to be a very, very fast race. Regarding team tactics, there are so many different ways that this race can play out. I would say that two of the top teams in India are always going to be the railways and the services. But apart from them, we have really strong representation from Karnataka, from Punjab, from Rajasthan, Haryana, and even from the states like Kerala.
I think Delhi has some hard hitters as well, right? Today, who's going to be there, along with the, as you said, the railways guys and the services guys. They have quite a strong team, but as you said, there are other states.
And
Oh, and yeah, sorry, Prashu, go on.
there we go. We missed the elite women's flag off.
And at the same time, I think the men's elite guys have just gotten the green signal. Nigel's looking very excited here. But yes, Nigel, with you as well, it's as Parshu has mentioned, it's going to be a very nice quick race. How do you think the riders are going to manage or fare with these conditions? How do they manage their nutrition on course? Give us a little insight about that.
Sure. For the elite guys that we're looking at now, we expect them to be racing for little more than an hour and 10 minutes. So providing they've had a good breakfast this morning, maybe some toast and jam or some oats with some fruit, a strong cup of coffee. From a nutrition point of view, they're probably not going to need too much more than that, although I imagine most of them will be carrying 1 or 2 gels. We can see that they're all carrying a water bottle. They'll probably need to consume around about at least half a litre of water during the race, probably with some electrolytes in. But as you can see from the pictures, the sun isn't fully up in the sky yet, so heat and perspiration isn't going to be too much of a factor for these guys, though obviously they're going to be riding exceedingly fast. But I would imagine the later races, when the sun is going to be fully up, is going to be a lot hotter for those guys.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, considering even though we are in the late mid September right now, it's going to get slightly hotter as the day progresses, and I can see your tan lines already showing up. The water management, as you said, is going to be vital, but for them, they've conditioned themselves by racing a lot, and that should not be a problem for them, I guess.
It shouldn't be. most of their training is going to be at this time of the day. They would have been training for anywhere to between 15 to 20 hours a week. They know what to expect. They know how hard it's going to be. And they'll be carrying suitable nutrition and hydration on their bikes. In a race like this, as we've already mentioned, it's going to be so fast. You don't want to be carrying too much water. The worst thing you can do is to finish a race with a full bottle of water still on your frame, because then you've dragged an additional half kilo over the 50 kilometers with you, which these guys won't be expecting to do.
Yeah, and I really hope these bikes get out of the way from the riders. I think the guys are cruising at around 40, 42 kmph now, even with the slight headwind. Parshu, as I can see some teams being already taking up the front spot, there's some discussion going on between them. And we have the amateur 50 kilometers who are all lined up ready to start, I guess. But once we get back to the actual feed where the race is happening, Parshu, run us through what sort of tactics or what sort of teamwork can we expect from these guys today?
Well, today's winners are definitely going to need teams supporting them. On a flat course like what we have today, it normally results in a sprint finish. It's like I said, it's tough to create a gap between the riders that are behind you, and we have Sanjeev Ramki.
Yeah, I see Sanjeev Ramki and his usual antiques, right? So he loves to have a really hard start at the beginning of the race. So, you can thin out the crowd a bit to see who's, ready to go. And I've seen him pull this move off so many times. Every time we raced around here, he usually gets the little action, or he gets the pack riled up a bit. There's always somebody who will be like, "Hey, why? What are you doing? Don't go!" But then, as you can see, the race has actually picked up the pace, all thanks to his little effort. And I think we're just about to get the 50-kilometer amateur race kicked off, and there they are. There they go. And yeah, we'll be back. I think the footage will get back to some more action from the men's elite.
That being said, the 50-kilometer amateur race has incredible participation. We are seeing so many riders who have registered for this. We have 500 plus men and 50 plus women in this category, which also has a lot of prize money on offer. So the amateur winners are due for 70,000. So first place gets 70,000 rupees, second place gets 50,000 rupees, and third place gets 30,000 rupees in the amateur category. Meanwhile, in the pro category, the winner gets a big payday of 1,20,000 rupees. Second place gets a whole 1 lakh. Third place gets 80,000, and prize money creeps all the way down till 10th place, which is a neat 15,000 rupee payday for the 10th position.
That's a lot of prize money for a cycling event. I think this is the first time that an event organizer has decided to throw in. I think the overall prize pool is 33.6 lakhs, if I'm not wrong, amongst all categories. And I mean, shout out to HCL for encouraging sports and especially cycling, and get more people to come in and take part, and get them to change gear, as they say, change the gear. Nigel, your thoughts on that, as to what's happening right now in the Indian cycling, if you may?
Yeah, firstly, the size of the prize pot is extremely healthy. Definitely, it pays to win in these events, and the encouragement, the financial encouragement for the amateurs in both the 50k and 24k. The prize pot is very healthy, very lucrative, and it's worth trying your best for.
Yeah, even without the prize money aside, I think HCL has done a great job to get more riders to turn up for this event. And as we speak about that, I think Akil, the local boy from here, has tried to break away from the pack, and we won't get too technical with the breakaways and stuff. But Nigel, a little insight as to what how the breakaway plays a part in this race.
Sure. So what the teams are trying to do is organize themselves so that maybe one member of a team um, pushes as hard as he can off the front of the bunch. This strings the bunch out and it disencourages further attacks, but at the same time, it's making the riders behind the attacker having to work just a little bit harder than they would like.
Yes, and I mean, as we can see, this is the route as well that the guys are going to be taking, right? They go through iconic landmarks like MGM Disney World, they go through Kovalam, and they head over to Sheraton Grand Hotel, where they'll take a U turn and at Hotel Mamala, and the U-turn at Sheraton Grand for the 24 kilometers guys, whereas the 50-kilometer riders will take it a little further down the road at Mamala, and action all around. This is the amateurs race, if I'm not, no, actually this is the men's elite race. There was a breakaway which was just happening, and as Nigel said, you know, people try to string away from the pack to see, you know, if they can get some groups getting formed up in the front to hide themselves from the wind. But this being a pan flat course, you can see, I think these guys are actually zipping past maybe 40-45 kilometers an hour, do you think?
They should be, yes. I would expect them to be riding at around 45 kph. But what we can see here are the riders that perhaps have greater aspirations towards victory. You'll see them hiding back in the bunch, sat behind as many riders as possible, sheltering from the wind, and they will be expending anything up to 50% less energy versus the three guys that you can see leading the race right now.
Yes, and as you can see on the little graphic over here, you can see these guys are doing a blistering pace. They've covered the 6 kilometers, and their current pace is a minute 24 per kilometer. That's, you know,
that's faster than 40, definitely.
exactly, yeah.
My brain calculator doesn't work that fast, but I'm telling you, yeah, it's around 45 kilometers an hour.
Yeah, that's perfect. And we could see the this is the amateur race again. They're just chilling for a while now, but before this we did see the breakaway guys from 2 has become 3. I think someone from the pack chased them down, and there are now 3 of them in the front of the race.
When we switch back to the 3 breakaway guys, it will be interesting to see whether those 3 guys are going to work together to try and establish a break, or whether one of them perhaps has been sent there to not do any work on the front of the bunch and maybe discourage the breakaway in order to make it easier for the bunch to stay in contact with them. So that's what I'm going to be looking for over the next couple of minutes.
Yeah, I can see some action at the back already. These guys are, you know, have decided not to let these 3 up front, you know, just go away on their own. And there is some teamwork or cohesion, but then you can see that these guys at the back are really trying hard to, you know, get them back in line. I think they're doing somewhere about easily at 45 plus kmph, as the graphic at the bottom says. The guys in the front are doing 42.5, 42.7, whereas see, they've already caught them up, so they must have done a really good effort to get them, reel them back in.
Yeah, so as we speak, we can see the original breakaway of 3 guys is now being reeled in, and it's going to be interesting to see who is going to try their hand next at another break. The bunch has just eased slightly. You can tell that from their body language. There's a couple of guys trying to move away from the front and just rest up a bit behind some other riders. And I'm sure someone else will be firing themselves up the road very shortly.
Yeah, I think they're just resting for a bit now, since they used up a little energy to catch these guys who went on ahead, and Akil and the others who were in the initial break. I mean, I won't call it break, who tried to get form a break. They're still right up in the front. They haven't eased back or decided to hide themselves from the wind, even though it's only a slight crosswind, head crosswind, which is coming in today. And I see somebody trying to go from the amateur race. No, this is that was still the men's elite race. Somebody trying to break away again, and here we have the amateur race. The guys, again, another fellow Chennaiite who's taking the call in the front, and these guys are trying to to take turns so that they can conserve some energy and while still maintaining the pace.
That's very right. What you'll be looking for at this stage of the race is your enemy is not your enemy. He's your friend at this stage. You need to cooperate. There's no way that one guy could sit on the front of the bunch for the entire 50-kilometer duration. Well, he could, but he'd be very tired at the end and probably wouldn't have anything left for a sprint finish. So you want your enemies to become your best friends. And as we watch this, we're just seeing the two guys at the head of the elite race switching turns on the front, taking it in turns. So they are cooperating, and they are this time trying to establish another gap.
Yes, that's very well visible here. Whereas the pack, with the earlier attack, when the pack saw them go, I think those guys knew that they were quite strong enough, so they tried to get them in very quickly. Whereas here you can see this is a little, there's a little, I won't say elevation, it's just a little rise where the speeds actually slow down here a bit, and the pack at the back is just resting for now. There's no moves, anything happening at the back. The Again, as I speak, Akil again is trying to get back on the break. There's a bunch of guys from the Tamil Nadu team who are also racing here, and as Parshu had mentioned earlier, we have a representation from a lot of teams and a lot of states today, and let's see if they can reel the others back in again.
Well, so far they've managed to maintain their gap. I reckon it looks like about 100, 150 meters. The two guys are checking over their shoulders to see whether they're being caught. They still seem to be cooperating. There was a motorbike placed in the road just at that point.
That guy was in the wrong place in the wrong time, but I think that's the end of their breakaway, because again, I can see the Tamil Nadu team along with the guys from Chennai trying to reel them back again, and another group is sitting where I think that's if I'm not wrong, I think I saw a couple of guys from the Bangalore CBR team who have just tried to form a break by themselves.
As we look at the bunch behind the breakaway guys, we can see that they're not pushing too hard at the moment by the width of the bunch itself, how it's spread across the road. When they speed up, they become much more strung out, and instead of perhaps 5, 6, 7 riders across the front, it'll just become pairs or even singles at the highest speed. As we're now looking at 4 guys who are managed to get off the front of the bunch. And what we need to see is these guys cooperating with each other as they're trying to do here, keep the pace high and just try and very, very slowly eke that gap out second by second.
Yeah, I hope so. I mean, I hope they do as well. Whereas the guys they have, so as I was saying, the CBR guys have one representing themselves in the front, and then there's another guy who's ahead of this pack who's trying to slow them down. This is where the team tactics plays a part, and the guy who's in the bunch is trying to get them to not go as fast as they should be, so that the guys who are in the front get a lot of time, and then they get the distance built up. I mean, can you tell us a bit about your experience from racing, or what do you think is the right thing for them to do at this point of the stage? I think they've crossed about 7 kilometers so far now. So
okay, from my experience, if you're from a team that is not represented in the break, and as we can see, there's only 4 guys in the break, so there's a maximum of 4 different states, or I can't see whether anyone is from the railways or services.
There's one from the services, and then rest are all states, different states. Yeah.
So if you're not represented in that break, you need to put your guys on the front and start chasing. If you do have someone in the break, you need to get someone on the front and then ever so slowly, and I mean they do this in a very kind of safe manner. You just slowly reduce the pace by 1 or 2 kilometers, and then that just gives the break an additional few seconds gap.
And so the idea for them right now is to conserve as much as they can when they're in the pack. And since we have already, since we know it's going to be a sprint finish and a quite fast one at that, every little bit of energy you save is going to help you a lot. And the best way to do that is by shielding yourself between your teammates or just hiding in the pack.
Absolutely. And for that to happen, you have to rely on the fact that you have just as strong a teammates as yourself, so that when the bunch decides to reel in this breakaway, that you can send teammates to the front of the pack and they can do the work for you, so that you don't have to put your nose in the wind and waste a lot of energy.
Yeah, absolutely. Teamwork is quite vital here, and we still see the bunch of four, who have now established quite a decent, I think, a 20-second gap between the bunch and themselves. And I really hope this motorbike gets out of the way, because they're getting a little bit of drop. And there we go, the mic's gone. Yeah, but these guys are hitting it hard. They're not resting up. I think if the pack doesn't make a move sooner or later, these guys are going to have a nice, yeah.
As you said that, Michael, we could see one of the breakaway riders trying to encourage his fellow escapees into greater cooperation. Ultimately, the chances of this break succeeding are less than 10%, probably single digit. And for that to come off, they would all need to be cooperating right now.
Yeah, so their idea might be, to get the other teams who are not represented to chase and tire them out as well. So that might be their game plan. Even as you said, the chances of them winning are single digit, but then this would ensure that the others at the back are putting in that little bit of extra effort to reel them in. Yeah, Akhil
and just
goes
as
again. Yeah.
Akhil has gone again, so he's going to try and bridge across. His teammates are sat on the front of the bunch, not doing anything, trying to let him go. And I'm sure the bunch won't want to let him get across.
Yeah, as I said, there's Dinesh, who's from the services team. We have Mukesh Srinidhi, who's part of the cycling brain racing team from Bangalore, and we have Ashok and Rahul, who's not in the frame yet. But these are the top 4 guys who are currently going, and I think they've come into an agreement now. As you can see them, with the little encouragement that they had from the other rider before, they're starting to work together.
They are, and I'm just seeing the distance clock up in the corner of our screens. They've covered 12 kilometers, so they're almost at 25% race distance covered now. So they are halfway to the U-turn. So the bunch needs to start thinking about how it's going to organize itself and how it's going to close this break down.
Yeah, that's very true. They've just so as you can see from the visuals over there are no buildings or anything towards the left of them, right? And it's an open empty space with the ocean right next to them. The wind is it's blowing from their right to the left, right? That's why these guys are hugging towards the corner of the road, so that they can get some, they don't have too much of the headwind hitting them, where they can maintain a particular speed. And as you can see, I think they're still doing about 43 kilometers an hour, if I'm not wrong.
That's correct, yes. So a 1 minute 30 pace is 40 kilometers an hour. So anything under 1 minute 30 is well above 40.
Yeah, and doing that on a headwind, I think there should be with the. I mean, we'll come back to that topic again, but I do want to touch up on the gear and the tech that goes into riding. At these high speeds with the amount of power these guys are putting in.
Yeah, so they're all riding, or the majority will be riding very light carbon fiber framed bicycles, and the entire bike will weigh about 7 kilos. Um, Added to that, the guys will be wearing very tight fitting technical fabric jerseys and shorts. And these garments have wicking properties, so that all their perspiration is wicked away off the jersey, and um, that their sweat isn't held in the jersey. Their helmets will be quite sort of aerospec, and you can see as they scrunch down and get their bodies low over the handlebars, they're trying to make themselves as aero or as slippery as possible so that they can go as fast as possible for the minimum amount of energy expended.
Yeah, all these aerodynamic kits are looking very slick indeed. And we're back to the amateur 50 kilometers race. And there's not lot of action happening. I think it's the way the race is designed, and I can see that the women's riders are, in the bunch as well, who've just gotten themselves into the men's amateur 50 kilometers riders as well. And we're back with the yes, there we go. The display says they're doing nicely onwards of about 44 kilometers an hour. And imagine if this is onwards, and then depending on how much energy they have left in the pack or on the way back, it's going to be a really fast race.
It certainly is, and we could still see the bunch in the background there, so they're not letting the break get out of their sight. And as we were discussing earlier, the out leg is into a little bit of a head crosswind, and so the fact that the guys are riding at 44 kph here, we can expect, if the brake hasn't been caught, then after the U-turn, with a slight cross tailwind, the speed is going to go up to 46, 47 kph.
Yeah, that's a blistering speed, considering that these guys have already been up to the 18-kilometer mark, and doing a 46, 47 kmph. That's going to, with all the tech that you have mentioned, it's going to help them to save a little bit of energy, whilst they're riding up in the front. And let's just talk a little bit more. Oh, there's some more action going here. Emil is asking the motorbikes to move out of the way, and I think the elite guys have now decided to, give these guys up in the front and reel them back in, because they've realized that the brake is gone out in the front for a long period of time. And people working together, I can see Akil again in the action in the front, and a bunch of other riders, Manav, Mukesh, and Neeraj, who are here trying to get the brake reeled back in. There's another rider from CBR. I don't think he'll like the people trying to chase his fellow teammate down, but let's see what happens.
Yes, once we get a wider picture of the front of the race, we'll get a better understanding of what the bunch's intention is right now. We can start to see riders in the middle of the bunch. That's the guy in the yellow top that's just gone past was a young guy called Sanjay, who I know is a local TN guy. And we're waiting to see who is next going to be to organize themselves and try and ignite the race.
Yes, I mean, we're getting some good visuals, and I really hope these bike marshals or the videographers would give these guys a little bit of way, because they're almost taken the entire part of the road, which has been closed down thanks to the government officials from TN, Tamil Nadu Police Department as well, who have helped us organize this nice event, and we have had no hiccups so far. And this is the tail end of the men's 50-kilometer elite race, and there's a lot of yellow jerseys, orange jerseys, and we have another group of riders who are gearing up to start the ride. I'm just going to go grab Parshu here to take over for me. Nigel, please tell us, what do you think we can expect from the other categories of the races? I mean, let's throw in a little bit on the women's category.
Well, from the pictures we can see right now, this is it's either the 24 or is it the green ride, I believe.
No, I think these guys are the men's 24-kilometer amateur, if I'm not wrong, and then the green ride is later, which we will talk about in a bit as well once Parshu gets back.
Well, it certainly looked like the 24-kilometer riders were enjoying themselves on the start line and having fun, and that's another key point of today's event. At whatever level you're riding your bike at, is to enjoy it. It's a sport. It's about health and fitness. Ultimately, we play sport, and play is fun. You need to know why you're doing this. It's sport is fun. It's healthy as well. As we see the bunch look like they've just eased up a little bit, although here goes someone on the right hand side as we look at the screen. He's had enough of the bunch with the slightly slower pace, and we're looking to see if another break can establish itself. The body language from the riders looks like they are all starting to try a little bit harder now. And the bunch itself is getting a little bit strung out. So we're not seeing it pack out across 2 lanes of road. We can see it's almost single file as they're still trying to chase down the original break that we saw go away earlier. I must say that the route marshalling and control of the road closures has been absolutely perfect so far. My recce rides yesterday, where I rode all 3 routes, I could see the barriers that had been placed there overnight in preparation for the road closures today. And it's certainly, especially for the amateur categories and for the green ride, it's going to be a wonderfully safe and smooth and controlled environment to ride your bike outdoors on the open roads.
Very well said. One of the toughest aspects of hosting a cycling race, which almost always goes behind the scenes, is the fact that the organizers have to work night and day in order to ensure that the roads are safe for all participants. And even at the international level, even at the Tour de France, you will always have incidents where maybe somebody's pet dog comes running across the road and causes a collision. So management of such events is one of the toughest, thankless jobs there is. But in all previous editions of the HCL Cyclathon, as a participant myself, we've noticed that they've done a stellar job at ensuring that the roads are free from any obstructions.
And certainly in my time in India over the past 10 years and the events that I've done, the level of organization from the organizing bodies, and thanks to people like HCL, if you're into cycling and you want to come and give it a go, that you can turn up today and just come and ride your bike on a perfectly safe closed road, right up to the elites that we're looking at now, who want to come and ride at close to 50 kilometers an hour without any worries about cars or vehicles on the course, or any unanticipated obstructions. As we just see the bunch now is closing in on our 4 breakaway leaders. So I think we're going to see the end of this break in the next minute or so. In fact, they're all looking over their shoulder And I think it's time for someone else to have a go as soon as this has been caught.
We might see an immediate attack as soon as the bunch is going to be caught, as soon as the breakaway is going to be caught. I am expecting to see a few more fireworks coming out of the peloton. Um, Teams which were initially represented in the break might send another teammate across in front to try and establish some dominance in this race. So, exciting racing coming up.
Absolutely. So if a team hasn't had someone in the break, and if a team hasn't had to chase so far, they're going to collectively have a lot of firepower and a lot of fresh legs. And as we begin to think about approaching the U-turn at 25 kilometers, the riders, in fact, we're going through the U-turn now. So this is 25 kilometers. They've made the U-turn. The race is now exactly halfway through its duration. The race is all back together. The riders are now going to be riding with a tailwind. And we can, as you mentioned earlier, we can expect to see some more fireworks, because if your tactic is to win without a sprint, you haven't got long to try something.
Absolutely. Now, the second half of the race is going to be even faster than the first half. And notably, what I have noticed up till now is I was looking for few of the top 5 names that we mentioned initially, and Nigel, you would not have seen any one of them up till now.
No, we haven't. All of the guys that we're expecting, all of the guys that we're expecting to feature in the last 3 or 4 kilometers of this race, we have not seen, which means they are doing their job. And as we say that, we can see another break attempting to get off the front, but the bunch does not appear to want to let them go.
And this is the beauty of cycle racing. You'll notice, you can see the effort that the people in front are putting. You can see that they're putting a maximal effort to try and establish some sort of distance between themselves and the riders behind. But every time the camera moves a little bit deeper into the peloton, you can see that most of the riders in the peloton are actually quite comfortable. So what happens in these kind of situations is that the riders in front are expending more than 30% extra energy as compared to the riders in the back. It can pay off if they have some solid team tactics, and a lot of luck as well comes into the picture. If you're expending extra energy right now, is it going to distance you from the rest of the group all the way up to the finish line? Like Nigel said, there's less than 10% chance of that happening in a race such as this one, but it's still worth a try. So most of the riders in this race already know that if push comes to shove and the race is going to end in a sprint finish, they probably don't have the legs to sprint faster than the top names that we had discussed before this race started, which is why it's always it makes sense for so many riders to actually try their luck to create some distance right now, hope that the bunch lets them go thinking that they're not too much of a threat, and then power through all the way to the finish line with hope and a prayer.
Absolutely. So the pictures we can see on screen now are the MTB guys. I'm assuming this is
Warm up. This is probably warm up.
their warm up.
The race hasn't started yet.
No. And back to the elite race, as you were mentioning, Parshu, we expect it to be a bunch sprint with very little chance of success of a breakaway. However, if you don't try, you have 0% chance of winning. If you do try, you are giving yourself a chance. And that's what these guys here are trying to do.
I see the rider in the lead has a really flashy jersey right now. He's wearing full sleeves. I've never seen full sleeves being used in Chennai before, but impressive kit. And here we have Kiran leading the pack from Cycling Brain Racing. Again, each one of these riders wears skin fit lycra clothing, which is specially designed for cycling. Nigel, why would you say that these apparel that they're wearing right now What is different? Why is it good for cycling, for racing?
It's not just the aero capability of the fabric that helps you cut through the wind more easily if you're so inclined to ride at the speeds that we're seeing in the elite race. Um, there's comfort as well. And there's moisture wicking properties. So if you imagine when we were school kids and we used to play sport at school in thick cotton sports jerseys, whether we're playing football or cricket, you finish a match and your jersey could weigh anything up to a kilo because of all the sweat that it had accumulated. Well, these jerseys that we're looking at on these guys, they wick away the moisture so that you don't finish with a particularly heavy garment, which means you're not carrying all of that moisture that you're losing with you.
Also, these jerseys are built for much longer days in the saddle as well. In fact, all of these riders are have trained for much longer days in the saddle as well. 50 kilometers is among the shortest kind of races that any of these guys will be doing. But for us as spectators, a shorter race just means more action, faster speeds, and just more fun to view overall. As a spectator, I feel like shorter format racing can really change the game for road bicycle racing in the world.
It certainly can. Now, as we look at these guys on our screens now, because they're wearing those yellow numbers, we know that they are from the amateur 50 kilometer race. So these two here are the leaders of the men's amateur 50 kilometer race. And as we watch these, they are the guy in the black jersey is desperately gesticulating to his companion to help him and to work. And I believe now these pictures, this is back
We're back to the professionals
to
here
the
with these
professionals
pictures.
again. Yes.
It's a slightly dicey area for our motorcycle to be riding.
Yes, I would suggest that motorcycle isn't necessarily in the best place. In fact, we can see riders now riding behind the motorcycle, which is what we don't want to see.
Every time we see all of these cyclists bunching up on the road, it means that the speeds have slowed down, and that always calls for fresh attacks. Now we have one man reeling away from the bunch, and you can see that the bunch is relatively comfortable. So all of these riders are sitting in the middle of the pack, not expending as much energy as the guys in front are.
And maybe the commissaires are not watching these pictures because that hand position that the guy had on his handlebars is actually technically illegal. He's corrected himself. He probably gave himself a quick reminder. He probably has forgotten that the camera is on him. I'm not sure what this bike is doing in front of this rider, but we can see that the bunch is not letting him get away.
Yeah, it looks like he's not gonna last the entire duration of the race solo. But what can happen in such situations is when you try to attack solo, um, the best thing that can happen to you is that maybe a team of 2 or 3 people attack the bunch behind and join up with you. That makes your breakaway bunch of 3 to 4 people, and when you are 3 to 4 people strong, and when you have good cohesion, you have a good chance of staying away from the bunch.
Absolutely. On this type of course, which we've already established is very flat, we only have a total of 120 meters elevation across the whole 50 kilometers. For one guy to survive out front on his own is going to be almost impossible. However, if he can have 2 or 3 equally eager breakaway companions, then he gives himself a slightly higher percentage chance of succeeding. And as we say that, we can see in the men's amateur 50 kilometer race, the bunch of 3 is just now being absorbed by the main peloton.
Nigel, I've had so many conversations with so many friends of mine, and all of them find it extremely tough to understand that cycling actually is a team sport. You and I both know that teamwork is essential to performing well in any race. Given that we have so many different teams represented here in today's professional race, what teams would you say stand the best chance of winning, and why do you think they would stand the best chance of winning? What kind of team tactics do you think they can incorporate now that we're in the fag end of this race?
Well, coming from Mumbai, I have a closer affinity to the state of Maharashtra, and I'm fortunate enough to know a few of the guys riding for the Maharashtra state team, and I've got I'm pretty confident that they get on well, firstly, and they know their strengths and weaknesses. And they discuss tactics, and they're happy to work for who they believe is their strongest rider in any given situation. And I'm pretty certain that services and railways are probably going to be of a similar mindset as well. Ultimately, you need to develop a mindset where it doesn't matter who wins as long as your team wins.
Absolutely. Teamwork means that you're putting at least one rider from your team in a good position to win the race. And if you do that, let's say, for example, if I have a team of 5 people represented in this race, and if I try to break away from the bunch, then my 4 teammates will probably be trying to slow the bunch down. But me being in the lead, I would have to expend a lot of energy to try and stay in the lead, which is an opportunity for all 4 of my teammates to stay fresh while they're in the bunch. They will always try to see to it that the bunch does not have the cohesion required in order to work together and pull back whoever is there in the breakaway. While doing that, they can also ensure that they have fresh legs. So this way, my team has me in prime position to win the race if I manage to make my break stick, or if I get reeled back in, I have 4 fresh teammates who are ready to attack. So that way, having a strong team makes a huge difference on what kind of results you can expect from any given race.
Absolutely. It's not just the team leader that needs the strongest legs. Quite often, it's going to be his teammates that do even more work than the guy that tries to win. But going back to the concept of team collaboration and understanding, one of the big things that we haven't mentioned is the fact that if you win and you pick up a check for 1.2 lakhs, then there will be an understanding that some of that gets shared with your teammates as well.
That's essential, yes. Because you don't win purely on the basis of your effort. You win as a team. You win because your team has been there to support you throughout the race. And now there are many different situations or many different kinds of teams. In fact, I would let's go one step behind, and let's start by saying that there are many different kinds of riders. While some riders will be really suited to today's kind of stage, which are pan flat stage, the riders that are suited to this kind of stage would be strong sprinters who actually have a team that can set them up in a good position to sprint towards the end of the race. So sprinters normally have a really high top end effort that lasts anywhere between 10 to 25, 30 seconds. They're capable of going super fast, putting out maybe 1,000 to 1,500 watts during the final sprint of the race, depending on how much energy they have left. And any team that has a strong sprinter would love to set them up for a sprint finish in this race.
Absolutely. And unfortunately for this sort of race, on this sort of course, we're not going to see the little skinny guys under 60 kgs doing particularly well. However, as we've just said, there is a role for them during the race. They can either slow the bunch down if they have a teammate up the road, or they can do a turn on the front to try and lift the pace of the peloton if they want to close a break down. All riders can contribute to the success of the team. It's just as you just mentioned, Parshu, when it comes to it at the end, power wins.
I would say, yeah, power wins definitely, but we've also got to talk about power to weight ratio over here. You mentioned skinny, less than 60 kilo guys in cycling. Well, they might not stand a good chance in today's race, but those are the kind of guys that are untouchable when it comes to something like an uphill finish. So if we're going to climb up a mountain to the top for a finish of a race, that's where their weight becomes a huge advantage for them. Whereas in today's race, the heavier you are, the better it is for you to put down more power on flat surfaces. And the heavier you are, the more power you're automatically able to generate.
Yes, and on a flat course like this, your overall weight is going to have little bearing. It's going to be how much power you can produce, how strong you are ultimately. Now, we haven't had a time check up on the screen in the last couple of minutes, but I'm sure that the riders must be in the last 25% of the race. We must be inside 10 kilometers to go, I would imagine. And so at this point, we're just looking at the amateur riders. So we know they're the amateurs because they have, well, the screen has just informed us of that. But also, if you see someone wearing a yellow bib number, so these guys here that we're looking at now, they've got white bib numbers. So this is the elite.
I think we are heading towards what's going to be an epic finish for our elite race. The bunch seems to be all together right now, which normally means a sprint finish, or we have some really solid riders in this bunch who might not want it to end up in a sprint finish. So they're going to aim for a late attack, which can last maybe anywhere between a kilometer to 5 kilometers. A lot of these guys I have raced with back when I was racing all the way up till 2020. And here we have Manjeet from the services. He's an insane time trialist. He's got solid numbers for medium efforts, which is basically anything between a minute to 10 minutes. He's really strong. So he's going to aim for a short breakaway towards the finish.
And as we were looking at the pictures there, we could see the riders being asked to move to one side of the road to allow an ambulance onto the other side of the course. So I hope that's not for anything too serious. We're still with the amateur 50-kilometer race, and as we can tell, the way that they're spread across the 2 lanes of traffic, the pace was not too high, which is why we can see a big attack going now, and lots of riders are trying to join that attack, get some cooperation going, and hopefully get a gap.
This could be a make or break moment for the amateur men's race if this breakaway manages to hold on. It doesn't look like it might though, because the bunch is one by one clawing its way back in front, and things are going to slow down as soon as they realize that the race is right here beside them. We're back to the professionals, and it looks like they're easing up in front of the race right now.
I'm sure that they're beginning to contemplate the rapidly diminishing number of ways that they can now win this race. I think we're too close to the finish for a break to go, unless someone does a suicide break and just goes full gas to try and take it to the finish. But we can see that by the way that the bunch is now strung out, single file, the pace is going to be very high. The time check on our screen says that they're still riding at around 1 minute 20 per kilometer. So that's about 40 44, 45 kilometers an hour.
Michael is back in our commentary box to join us for what is going to be an exciting finale. Michael, you have any predictions for today?
Uh, Thank you, Parshu. It's nice to be back here. I think I have a bunch of guys in my mind just to see the way it's been going on till now. The Tamil Nadu guys have actually kept their cards very close to themselves. They haven't shown themselves in the front at all. But that being said, the railways and the services had people in the break little earlier when I was here, and then the CBR guys, the wild card team from Bangalore as well, have been keeping their cards quite close to their pocket. As you can see, Srinidhi, who's not wearing their team jerseys, is just playing hide and seek. He was in the break for a bit, and I think we're back to the amateur race for a bit here. But going back to where we were, I think the railways and the services, if they can manage to keep their sprinter hidden, um, at least till, as Nigel said, I'm expecting a dive bomb attack to go in the last 5 kilometers or so, and that's where the real cat and mouse games begin. Anybody who can push out up and about 1,000 watts um, just to get out of the pack in the last 5 kilometers, if you can stick on behind their wheels, yeah, that's your podium place is guaranteed right over there. The last 5 kilometers, if you still have the energy to carry it on for the next 5 kilometers, as you can see, the graphic over here on our screen is showing us where the riders are exactly now. They have about 10 odd kilometers to complete this race. That's pretty much what's left for them to get this done with.
From the body language of the bunch, we can just see that they're taking another little breather. So I'm expecting somebody to send it very soon. Time is running out. Somebody has to try something. If you haven't burnt any of your matches yet, then why not give it a go now?
I think it's looking a little bit more like a coffee, Sunday coffee right now, Nigel, isn't it? These guys have just chilled out for a bit. I think it's just them waiting to pounce on the right time. As we say about that, there's a rider who's just decided, I'm not going to go on this jolly ride of yours, and is just broken away. And the bunch seems they don't care about that at all. They're just still chilling.
They must be supremely confident. And it's also clear from the size of the bunch that we can see on our screen now that lots of teams will have lots of riders left.
Yeah, whilst we are there, we're just going to quickly run through this little graphic that we have on our screen. It tells us the route which the guys are going. Just to give you guys a little recap, we started off at Mayajal, we headed all the way towards Mahabalipuram, and we took a little U-turn at Mamala, and then we finished back at where we are, which is the Mayajal on ECR, and we're back to live footage now. And I think these guys are the amateur riders, if I'm not wrong, because they are just a little bit further back down the road, and we're back to the elite guys. And I don't think they've reeled the other person in. Parshu, do you think what's happening?
Well, it looks like what we spoke about just a few minutes ago is exactly what's happening. The person who tried to create a gap from the bunch seemed to be one of the under 60 kilo riders, and the rest of the bunch is not too concerned right now because they have strength in numbers and they have a lot of team support as well, which means that this is playing out perfectly for the guy who has initiated his attack. So he does not seem to be anywhere in sight right now, at least for us. Although I strongly think that the bunch still has him in their sights. In my opinion, they're going to catch him as soon as the bunch accelerates for the next time. They're going to catch him and reel him in again. But I'm really excited to see when my top favorites for the race are going to show themselves. I've seen Surya Thatu only once in this race till now. In my opinion, he's one of India's finest sprinters currently, along with Arshad Faridi. I don't think I've seen him up until now in this race. So it might be a really, really close sprint between the two of them, unless somebody like a Harshveer Sekhon throws in a dive bomb effort, and we all know how capable he is. If the bunch gives him even 10 meters of a gap, he can make it stick.
I mean, talking about the hard hitters or the favorites for this race, one of the guys, Dinesh, from the services team, did show his face a little earlier in the race. He was out in one of these breaks earlier, but now he's just gone hiding. Nigel,
Yes. So the point that we've just seen the race go through is that's the 15-kilometer U-turn. That is a big junction, and they've just gone through there. So we now know that they have got 7 kilometers to go. So with these guys, that's going to probably be less than 10 minutes of racing. So you've now got 10 minutes to decide: do I help my sprinter? Do I go on a harebrained attack and try and either chance my own arm, or I can attack and then I can string the bunch out to dissuade the rest of my competitors from also attacking?
Very, very interesting. Everybody has so many different tactics to choose from. I know what I would be doing if I was in this bunch right now, but what about you, Nigel? If you were in peak fitness, what would your tactics be for the last 7 kilometers of this race?
Well, if this was 20 years ago, then I'll be looking for my sprinter. I'll be trying to locate him in the bunch, make eyeball contact with him, try and hand signals, say, get on my wheel. And then I'll be dragging him to the front of the bunch, not to the very front, but I'll be trying to position myself with my teammate on my wheel, maybe 5th or 6th wheel. And then I would try and own that position. And if anyone came round, then we move back up. And if anyone overtakes us, you move back up. And that's what we call the washing machine effect.
I completely agree with you, Nigel. Me being a sprinter myself, that exactly what I would love my teammate to be doing for me in the dire kilometers of this race. Save as much as energy as I can before the big kick, and then when it's time to go, we just let it out, and then pray to God that nobody comes in between you and the finish line. Here we can see the guys are pretty much grouped up again. I think they've reeled in the one person who went out, and here you can see, I think the riders have just now crossed our usual MRC finish line. This is where most of our local racing, which happens at the end of this month, we have a little sprint finish over here. And if I'm not wrong, this is back to, we're still at the elites, and oh no, we're still not at the MRC finish line. I think we're just near to Crocodile Bank, is where we are at, I guess.
Yeah, so I think we've now got between 5 and 6 kilometers to go. So those teams with multiple fresh riders still in the bunch need to start organizing themselves. They've got to decide, or hopefully they have a predetermined plan as to what they're going to do and how they're going to execute it.
Yeah, apologies for the earlier. I think we are just on Mutukadu Bridge, which is basically, as I said, and as Nigel said, it's only about 5 kilometers left to the finish line. Now it's do or die moment at this time, and I see Akil still in the front. I think he's decided to let one of his teammates take the win today.
And there we go. We see an attack coming in here right now from somebody in the services. The whole bunch is going to try and close him down. I doubt his attack is going to stick because the peloton behind, they've caught up to him. They're going to stick to his wheel, and this attack definitely is not going to stick. But you know what this does? This is a perfect launch pad for now a successful attack. So now that people have accelerated to catch up to him, and here there's a lull, that would have been a perfect attack, perfect moment to send another attack.
It would be with the time that we have left. We know that these guys are going to be riding the last 5K at close to 50 kilometers an hour.
Uh,
So you've got to be saying to yourself, that's 5 kilometers in 6 minutes. It's
I,
6 minutes of effort.
there's another attack which has been thrown out, and I think we can all come to a conclusion today that this men's elite 50 kilometers race is going to be a bunch sprint, if I'm not wrong. I don't think there's any more time left for them to get into a break, or if there's an odd stray which goes out, and I don't think the chances of that sticking, as you can see again, is the same person trying to throw an attack right from the front, which is not a good idea if you ask me, because they're going to see your move before it happens, and then they've just closed it down, like I said.
Yeah, unless you can sit on the front and do 500 watts for 5 minutes, which if you could do that, then you probably got a decent sprint in you as well. But at least the high pace that we're seeing on the front of the bunch now is discouraging any other attacks. That's what we want to see. But I'm not seeing any real organization between teammates just yet, and they've got to start thinking about it, and they've got to start thinking about bunch positioning.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking as well. With all the guys in their team jerseys, and I don't see a little organization, as you said, in the front. It's about time. Even though the graphic on our screen says 42 kilometers, these guys are only about, I would say, 4 to 5 kilometers, or even lesser than that, if you ask me, towards the finish line. And it's still represented by a mix of jerseys. There's no particular teams which have lined up. I can see some people who are still hiding, who haven't shown their face in the front, and getting the wind on their faces, which is a good thing. And here we see some MTB action. I don't. I'm sorry. This is not the MTB. This is the amateur men's race, which is happening, and I see a little breakaway action. Three riders in the front, and here we see a nice overhead drone shot of them cruising through. And I really hope this bike doesn't. Okay, yeah, there we go. They've gotten themselves organized. The bunch at the back is nowhere to be seen. I think they have about 20 seconds gap. Do you think?
Yeah, it looks like that. And I would say that at an amateur level, a breakaway like this is going to have a far greater chance of succeeding, because the difference between the fastest guy and the slowest guy in the bunch is going to be far, far greater than the difference that we would expect to see in the elite bunch, who are going to be much more closely matched in terms of power and ability. So, I mean, it's another tick point for an event like this, where if you are an amateur and you fancy having a go at racing, come and have a go and try something, because you never know, you might be walking away with 70,000 rupees.
Yeah, that being said, I think there's some action going on in the men's elite as well. As you can see, the graphic has changed already. It's showing 48 kilometers now. And this is still with the guys who are in the front. Oh, I think there's another.
Oh, that seems to be a
there
crash.
seems to be a crash. Oh no, there seems to be a crash. The medical staff have already gone through there. The drone shot is giving us an idea, and I think the crash is with the men's elite. This is a little narrow choke point in the road, where the road diverges a little into towards Mayajal, where there's a little kicker, and there's a little slope, and then there's a kicker, and I think somebody must have clashed wheels or crossed wheels, and that must have caused the pileup over there. I wish we could get another angle for us to see. Oh, there we go. Yeah, these guys are still in the pack. The remnants from the crash are still up ahead. Some of these guys have gone, and then there's some more action here in the front. There's a person who's decided to go. I think it's one of the CBR guys, if I'm not wrong.
Is that Emil? Is that Emil in the lead?
I think that's Emil, if I'm not wrong. Did these guys manage to get so far ahead that these guys haven't gotten up? Oh, we're
They're at the
trying to
finish
see a
line.
finish line, and oh, there's a person hiding.
Well, nice to get out of the way.
And there we go, arms raised up in the air, and that's the finish. Emil is second, and then there's a Tamil Nadu chap. I can't. Oh, Feramor. Yeah.
I think that was Dilawar with the victory.
Yeah, I think that's Dilawar for the
My God.
first place, and then
Okay,
there's
this
some
is the
more.
rest of the bunch sprinting for fourth place onwards. It's a
That's a
close
very
bunch
close
sprint.
one. And
A lot of celebrations from one rider
okay, I
over there
think
who seems
he
to have.
he wasn't sure. I think he did not realize that the break had won the race already, and he thinks that he's won. But we'll get to know. But
No, I'm pretty sure he realized that the break won. I'm
oh, it's just the jubilous celebration of getting the bunch sprint done. Yeah.
that, and also fourth place comes with a big payday. You get 60,000, I think, or 70,000 rupees for fourth place.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
I would be
that's
happy
there
with
as
fourth
well.
place as well.
Well, not bad for a fast and fiery race. I think the average speed at the end was about 44 kilometers an hour, if I'm not wrong. The graphics on the screen is not there, but that was quite easily 44 kilometers an hour.
Could have been faster as well. As we switch views to what is now going to be the 24-kilometer amateur male and female category, which is going to be kickstarting. We do not have confirmed information about our winners in the professional category yet, although we are eagerly awaiting it. I have a feeling Dilawar won this race. Dilawar is a rider with more than a decade of experience in the sport, and if that was him, my God, what a feat to come here and reprove your mettle against some of the top athletes currently.
I think that was Dilawar, though, just to reconfirm you. That was Dilawar, Emil, and Feramoth who finished the 1, 2, 3 on the men's elite. Here we see the flag off, as you said, for the men's amateur 24-kilometer and the women's as well. At the same time, as you can see, 4 flags over there. Nigel, what did you think about the finish?
It was very exciting. I think the bunch just temporarily fell asleep with about 5 kilometers to go, and they let those 3 guys get away.
And we're back with the men's and women's 24-kilometer amateur race. Nigel, Parshu's gone for a small break, and let's see how this race pans out. In the meantime, I think we'll also be looking at the women's race and the men's amateur 50-kilometer race to finish shortly.
Yes, it would be nice to get some pictures of the women's elite race so that we could have a look at their finish. As we see the male amateur 24k ride just depart, and we can see it's a much more relaxed event for this category. A lot of people are waving. They're riding hybrid bikes, which are typified by the straight handlebars. Far fewer people are, or if any at all, are wearing cleated shoes. So we're seeing lots of people just turning up and participating in sneakers, on hybrid bicycles, which is exactly what we want to see in this category. People coming out and then having a go at riding on closed roads in a safe environment and enjoying themselves.
Absolutely, that's on a very nice day today as well. The clouds have given these riders a nice little shelter from the heat, and as we were discussing earlier today, the heat hasn't played much of a role in today's race specifically, because these guys, as you can see, are just chilling. And I see a little some of them on some high-end bikes who managed to sneak their way into this little 24-kilometer category. I think they just want to get themselves into the racing field, I guess.
Absolutely, and let's not forget that if you are in the amateur 24-kilometer category, there's still 50,000 rupees up for grabs for first across the line.
I know, right? With the total prize money of 33.6 lakhs for this single event, there's prizes to be won in almost all categories. And I think the age is also there.
Absolutely.
Look at the camera. When the cameraman asks you to look here, you've got to look there better for your beautiful pictures.
Riders, 24-kilometer race, 12 kilometers straight, then you are turning back. Finish is on the opposite end there. Just right in front of there is a gantry. The finish line is there. You have to just check that while you are turned back, there are tail enders on the road. Be right side of the road. Be careful.
And we're back to see there's some interviews going on with the riders over there. These guys are the MTB 24-kilometer riders who are just getting themselves organized to the start line. They're in the lineup station right now, and once we have the flag off for the women's 24-kilometer race, these guys will get to the front, and then they'll be started off as well. And here we see some more amateur riders, as Nigel said, relaxed ride, just enjoying, soaking up the atmosphere. And as I said, there's some really fast looking guys in this bunch as well.
And I believe, is this the result? Oh no, I'm not sure.
No,
what
that wasn't the result. That
was.
wasn't the result. That was just the list of riders who crossed the bunch sprint line, I guess.
And this is the flag off for the female 24-kilometer amateur ride.
It's very nice to see a lot of them turn up in the mornings today. And I think it's about we have around 250 odd, altogether between the amateurs, 50-kilometer, 24-kilometer.
We've got close to 1,000 participants across the two amateur distances,
Right.
male and female combined.
Mm-hmm.
And then we're expecting in excess of another 1,000 for the green ride itself.
Wow, that's a lot of people and a lot of enthusiastic riders, I would say, who've turned up today. This is such a great initiative by HCL on its own as well, along with some of the others who've been a vital part in organizing this event. We have lots of partners who've sponsored this event. Yeah, before we get there, I think we have another little graphic here on the screen to tell you guys what the 24-kilometer route looks like. And again, they cross through various stations, and you can see in the graphic there are some hydration stations and medical stations which will be made use of by these riders specifically.
Absolutely. If these riders have just come out to come and ride on a safe, controlled and closed road, then they're not going to be too worried about the speed that they're riding, and it's good that they have the support from all of our support volunteers with hydration, with some food. There's technical assistance, and obviously we hope we don't have to use it, but there is medical assistance as well on the course.
Yeah, I mean, on a Sunday morning like this, I would definitely love to be on the bike outside with these guys, soaking up all the atmosphere, and just for the fun of it, racing aside, this is something that I would personally like everybody to do, right? Whether you're young, old, doesn't matter. If you've never ridden a bike, if you've been riding a bike, just get your friends together on a nice Sunday morning, get yourselves out, keep your legs moving.
Absolutely, get outside, get some fresh air, and kickstart a health and fitness regime. It doesn't have to be fast, it doesn't have to be far, but it can definitely be fun when there's a group of you.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And you can see with the amount of people who have just turned up, I can see an ocean of orange here, and these guys who've been we're still going to get lined up, I guess, right now. And here we go, the women's 24-kilometer amateur race, if I'm not wrong. And we're back to the start line. Let's get back to whilst the guys are getting lined up. As you can see, again, these are the MTB riders who are being lined up over here. And as I was saying before, we've had a lot of support from the local Tamil Nadu government with the police, and we've had the SDAT who's been here helping organize this event as well. We have Akshaya Kalpa Organic, who's the refreshment partner, Hyper Ice, who's the recovery partner. I love their guns as well. And then we have HCL Healthcare, who's the corporate wellness partner.
And we mustn't forget the fact that our venue partner, Mayajal Complex, which is where we're based right now. This is where we are corralling all of the different categories, where they're being grouped into their different categories and then waved off. Before they get waved off, there's plenty of support. So there was Zumba, there was nutrition, there's various merchandising stands here. And then once they finish their ride, they can come back to the complex, and that's kind of support and entertainment will still be going on.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And we have other partners as well who are not here at the venue, but we have bike tech partners who are Pro Bikers and Just Bicycles. I think they've been servicing the bicycles up front at the start of the day.
Yes, they've done an awful lot of work ensuring that riders that had any mechanical issues can participate today. And I must also give a personal shout out to Pro Bikers, who were the guys that lent me a bike and a helmet and some kit and enabled me to ride all three courses yesterday. So it's down to our partners at Pro Bikers that got me out on the course, and I was able to experience the fantastic route yesterday.
Oh yeah, I mean, these guys have been supporting me as a local bike shop over here for years, and they've been around. I know the person who runs this business as well, and they have been a vital pillar of support to all the cyclists over here in Chennai, and not just Chennai, and anybody who's traveling. As you said, they happily lent you a bike to go on the course to see how it is, and that's how much of a support they're willing to offer.
And that's exactly what you need in a city like this. When we talk about a community of cyclists, it's not just the riders. It's the retail support and the service support that you have from people like Pro Bikers, so that if you have an issue with your bike, you've got somewhere and you can take it to those guys. They know exactly what they're doing, and they can have you back up and running in no time.
Absolutely, that's pretty much. I mean, if you doesn't matter if you have a bike or not, if it's not able to run, you're not going to do much with it. So these guys are a vital cog in this entire ecosystem of getting yourselves out. And as we see here, there's a huge ocean of riders who are heading from this particular angle, and there we have the flag off again through some nice little smoke effects over there. The MTB riders are on their way, and there's some big prize money for the MTB category as well, if I'm not wrong.
There absolutely is. I think again that's is it 50,000 or 70,000 for the first person across the line in the male MTB?
Yeah, I think it's 50,000 for the first person to cross. Then we have 40 and 30, and this is between. I mean, it's the same for both men and women as well. So the prize money is split evenly between both the categories of the MTB riders.
And it is great to see such equality in sport. Not every sport, can say that they do the same. So it's thanks to HCL that male and female categories get exactly the same prize money. As we look at the MTB riders now rolling out of the start gate, these guys on MTBs on a road. I don't know how they do it with such thick tires and straight handlebars. Their aerodynamics are going to be far less efficient than the road bikes we saw earlier. The rolling resistance of the fat tires, they're really going to earn their prize money, that's for sure.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, HCL has done a great job, as you said, with the equality of all the prize money distribution and the way they have encouraged women to come and take part as much as the men. And as you said, these guys are all itching to go ahead. I saw the pilot vehicle ahead who told the guys to calm down. It's like, slow down, we're not there yet. And once they hit the 1 kilometer mark, aerodynamics just gone for a toss with their wide handlebars and wider tires. There's little to less rolling resistance when compared to a very nice slick road bike tire. And we're back to the amateur 24 kilometer race. I see some little action. Somebody's trying to get away from this bunch. It's nice to see actually the men's the graphic on the screen is a little it's not correct. This is the men's amateur 24 kilometer race, and even though we said they're out for a little jolly coffee ride on a Sunday morning, there are some serious hitters who turned up to this race.
There will be again. It's the attraction of the 50,000 rupees for first prize. So, if you don't fancy a coffee ride and a chat with your friends, then get up the front like this guy is now and see if you can bag a few rupees for your efforts.
Action already, and I see a very close friend of mine, Srivatsan, who's there in his blue jersey, trying to, stick along, trying to get with the break, if that's what's happening right now. I see a little gap opening up already, and Jatin as well is a pretty good rider from here. And these guys, they must be cruising at around the winds must have changed a little bit now, but still I think upwards of 37, 38 or even 40, do you think?
I think by looking at their body language right now, they're probably mid-30s. Mid-30s, yeah. It'll be hard enough for a decent workout, but not so fast that they're getting anywhere near the elite speeds.
Yeah, I think they've just realized that that speed was a bit too much for them, and then they've just slowed down a bit at the back. And we're back to the MTB guys. Again, an ocean of orange, and with a little bit of people out front, and there's some hitters again who are trying to get their way back to the front of the race.
Yes, these guys on their MTB bikes. Again, it's great if the only bike you own is an MTB bike, then there's an opportunity for you to bring it along and then participate in an event like this, as we still see the flag off. I think, which category is this?
They're still the riders from the MTB, because we had about, I think if I'm not wrong, there were around 300 people or upwards of 300 people for that particular event.
And I think we're getting different categories kind of bled together right now, because there are people on MTBs, and I think the MTB guys are actually catching the tail enders of the amateur 24k road event. That's what we're seeing here.
Yeah, that's exactly what's happening. And the women's race should be coming to an end in some time now. And as you can see, someone's throwing up the peace sign, or they just want to say hi to the camera. But as you rightly said, that's pretty much what's happening. And we got some action here in the front again with the men's 24 kilometer. They've decided to give it a shot again. Do you think, with the body language, what do you think? Little up in the speed right now?
I think now, yeah, this definitely looks like high 30s, and the amateur 24k event is the perfect platform to have a go and to try something. If these guys are going to be averaging close to high 30s, then the longest their ride is going to be is probably 40 minutes. So you're not really going to die of exhaustion out there, but you can just have fun, experiment, try something out, see what works, and then maybe next year come back and try the amateur 50k, or even move up to the elites.
That's exactly what I'd be thinking of as well. Get a little taste of how the racing experience is, while doing a small event, just to see how it feels. And then if you like it, you can always shift towards train harder and get yourselves onto the 50 or even the elite, if I may. And I did see somebody just chugging in a little pack of gel to get themselves fueled. Even it's a shorter race, but I think that a gel, rather than during the midway point for this race, having it at the start is actually better, don't you think?
Especially, yes, if you've had to get up at 4 or 5 a.m. this morning and then you grabbed a light breakfast. It's now just gone 20 past 7, so your breakfast was nearly 2.5 hours ago. So yeah, why not top up your breakfast as you cross the start line? Then at least you've got enough energy inside you to get to the finish.
Yeah, that's absolutely right, because these guys travel from various parts of the city, and since we are in the outskirts of the city, easily couple of hours must have passed out after they've had their morning snack or breakfast in this case. And for a shorter period of race, you need all the energy you can get to survive. Or the race, as you can see already, they've taken their U-turn, which is the halfway point of this race. And if you have, I think he timed his gel perfectly there, if I'm not wrong. It'll last him till the end of this race.
Yep, and ideally what you want is a little bit of caffeine in there as well, so that you get an extra little kick. Again, it's these guys would have all been up very early this morning, so the lucky ones may have got 4 hours sleep. Maybe nerves have kicked in, and you haven't slept that well, and so you need a little reminder from something like a gel that just keeps you awake and alert, and more able to enjoy the day's events.
Yeah, I think the little shift in winds has picked up the speed for this pack. As I can see, it's already strung out, which means the front of the race has kicked it up a notch. And as you can see, there were a little group of riders before, and now they're in a single straight line, which means that the pace has picked up in this race.
Yes, it has. And as we were discussing earlier, the performance delta, so the difference between the fastest guy and the slowest guy in the amateur 24 kilometer category, is going to be far greater than what we saw in the elites. What that means is you're not going to see a big bunch swarming together constantly throughout the entire event. And what we're seeing now are small breakaway groups form based basically on ability.
Absolutely. I mean, depending on how strong or weak you are, you're going to be either in the front of the race, or you're going to be struggling at the back of the race to hang on to the last rider in front of you. And we here again have a nice shot of, I like this little mix where we can get to see some calmness in between all the chaos that's happening. These MTV riders are actually chilling, and I do see some different colored jerseys in between the orange ones. Are they taking it easy, or are they waiting? Oh, there we
Oh,
go.
here we go.
I think it's the sprint happening now. Somebody's trying to go, and there's a little chase.
Yes, don't look over your shoulder. Just keep pushing. Commit. You have to commit and go. You cannot commit and then look over your shoulder and have second thoughts, because then that's a wasted effort.
Yeah, I think these guys are just trying to get themselves organized into a pack just before the U-turn. And here we can see we're back into the fast-paced action where these guys have already taken a U-turn, and they're heading quite comfortably towards the finish line. I suppose I think they have, let's say, about 5 kilometers left, maybe.
Yep, 5 or 6 kilometers. Certainly they're going to be into the last 10 minutes of their event, so they'll be thinking about, just as the elites did, what's the best opportunity for me to get across the line first? Do I go now and just release everything I have and try and go it alone? Do I try and cajole a couple of guys to come with me? Or do I just sit in the bunch and trust my sprint?
Yeah, those are some really valid options that the rider has to make. But then he has very little time, or they have very little time on their hands to take a call and see, depending on how their legs feel, and also if they have some teammates left with them to take a call as to what they would like to do.
And as we can see, those sorts of tactical concerns are not worrying the group of riders that we're looking at now. They are literally just out enjoying these fantastically smooth and well-controlled and very safe closed roads as we head back to the amateur 24 male category.
I would recommend him not to keep staring at the camera and just keep riding. But then it's something that we all do, don't we? When we see the camera vehicle in front, you always have to give them a little nod or a smile, or just wave at them.
Absolutely, I'm a sucker for cameras, especially when I'm racing, because as a cyclist, it's very tough to get good footage of you, because you're decked out in a kit which is so similar to what everybody else is wearing, that every time you see a camera, there is something inside you which clicks, which says, I want a good picture out of this at least.
I know, that's absolutely true. And you know what? Some people whom I know, just for getting themselves in front of the camera, they always come and ride in front of me. I'll be like, thank you so much for your little effort. You can wave to the cameras all you want. Please eat some more wind. But yeah, that's absolutely true, Parshu. And these guys have taken a little break again from the little action that we had earlier.
It certainly looks like a much smaller bunch. What would you say, about 30 riders? And so they're beginning to look to see who's left. Now, if I was in that bunch, I'd be saying, okay, we've split the bunch. We started off with around 250 riders. We've probably got 50 left in the bunch. I can halve that again. That's what I'd be trying to do.
Yeah, it's a good time to, honestly, when the bunch is about 30 riders strong, it's a good time to wait and see how it's going to play out, because you don't want to be the one that burns all your matches and set somebody else up for a stronger finish. So now is a good time for anyone who's setting their sights on the win to actually see what's going to happen next. And then cycling is all about reacting to situations and making the best decisions, quick decisions when the situation arises. So being in the moment, being smart is super important to end up with a good result.
Absolutely, Parshu. And as we talk about hard-hitting races, we're just about to kick off the Green Ride, which is the brilliant initiative by HCL guys who've gotten all of these people. I think we have about over 1,000 participants in the Green Ride alone, and which encourages them to come outside and get themselves into the fitness world. get them to start riding. And we're back to the amateur 24-kilometer race, and we see some local representation from Mad Rascals. I think that's Raj on his Cannondale over there. And we saw earlier, Nigel, when we saw earlier, they were strung out at the high pace, and now they're back into a bunch, which means that they have again gotten themselves to a little slower pace to get themselves a little bit of a breather before the final sprint happens.
Today is super exciting for all of us viewers because we're getting to witness so many different races in such a short span of time. But what's standing out to me right now, at least, is the fact that we can see so many differences between what an elite peloton looks like versus what an amateur peloton looks like. Nigel, what do you think? What are the main differences between an elite peloton and an amateur one?
Firstly, as we see a couple of guys crossing the line.
I think these are people from the amateur 50 kilometers ride, if I'm not wrong. Yes, the orange bibs. I think these are the guys who have just crossed the line for the amateur 50 kilometer race. And sorry, Nigel, you were about to say?
Yeah, one of the differences between the bunches that we see at elite level versus amateur level. Number one is the speed. So the elite guys are going to be going a lot faster. Number two, it's the positioning and technical skills of the guys involved. We saw in the elite bunch, they were riding very, very close together. The sort of skills that I would be coaching these riders would be, you've got to be able to ride next to the guy and be able to touch elbows and shoulders. That's how close you have to be.
Yes, that's, I mean, it makes a lot of difference, as the closer you are, the less wind you're exposed to, and it helps you to hide from, it helps you to avoid spending a lot of energy trying to close the gap between the wheels. And the closer you are, the better it is for you to save a bunch of watts.
Absolutely. But also at this level, these guys probably wouldn't have practiced this type of bunch riding this frequently, certainly with this number of riders involved. And so it can be extremely intimidating when you find yourself in the middle of a bunch and you've got a rider literally 6 inches in front of you and to either side and on your wheel, and you have to have eyes in the back of your head.
Absolutely. It's a very small bunch now as well. Imagine if the elite race had about, I would say 100 riders to start off with, and when the bunches happened, we had about 60, 70 odd people who were very close knit as well. They weren't, they made sure that they did not have a lot of gap between them, and they were always in a tight knit space. And I can see the rider telling the camera person to move out of the way. And we are back to the MTV action. But going back, this race is still, everything is in for it for the person for the 1, 2, 3 spots. And I can see the people from Chennai are still up in front. I would really like them to go back, save a little bit of energy. But they're just there out in the front. And as you can see, a brilliant shot. Wow, look at this, Nigel. How does this look?
Yeah, this is incredible. So this is the Green Ride assembling themselves on the start line. We've got approximately 1,000 riders waiting to be flagged off. The Green Ride is going to be around 15 kilometers. It's just one short loop with one very safe turn, and we just hope that they start and finish with a big smile on their face.
Absolutely, that's something that will encourage. I mean, a lot of my friends, who've never done cycling or who always question me when I go out for my rides, and they'll be like, "Where have you been the last 4 hours?" And then I tell them, this is the joy of cycling. And events like this is where people come in and experience the actual wonders of cycling as well. And as you can see, these guys have just crossed the Mutukadu Bridge, which you must have seen yesterday on your little route, Reki.
I did. Well, I would have seen that 3 times because I rode I rode all 3 routes yesterday. Yes, it's I tried to take in as much scenery as I could. It's a beautiful part of the country. It's a lovely piece of road, and I think for the amateur riders, there's no better place than to come and experience cycle racing.
Absolutely. There's no doubts in that, because this particular road where we're having this race, you get to see the sunrise every single day. If you're out at about 5 or 6 a.m. in the morning, you're definitely going to be seeing the sunrise, whichever side of the road you're riding on, because it's always on the other side of the road. Whether you're going towards Mahabalipuram or on your way back, you get to see this wonderful sunrise. And please get out of the way is what the rider at the back is ushering to the motorbike, the camera person in front, because he doesn't want them to get a little draft and a boost of speed.
And someone ought to tell the guy on the front that is another illegal hand position on his handlebars.
That's quite dangerous as well, isn't it? To have your hands there right in the front. A little slip could cost the entire peloton.
Exactly. Absolutely. And that's why the UCI banned this. We don't want to encourage things like that. And maybe someone's just told this guy, because he's now put his hands back in the correct position on the bars. And as we speak, someone else is...
he's trying to get away, and these guys are really close to the finish. And as I said, the guys have actually shifted positions now. I see the Tamil Nadu team with the under 18 guys. No, that's the HCL jersey. Sorry, my bad. These guys again picked up the pace when they're heading towards the finish line. I think they're only about a couple of kilometers away from the finish line.
They are, and if I was in the bunch, I'd still be thinking this bunch is too big. We can thin it out a bit. It's still all to play for. We can hopefully shed a few of the weaker riders and give ourselves a better opportunity of finishing higher up in the prize money.
Oh yes, Nigel, and as you can see, the women's riders who have been hidden from us all this time, they're just on screen right now. And you can see again, there's a lot of teams who've turned up for this event, and they're just having a go at this race. And we're back to the amateur 24 kilometers. There's a lot of stray riders from the previous events. I really hope they'd move out of the way and give these guys a little space to ride.
That's just the reality of cycling as a sport, though. It's always going to be a very, very dynamic environment that you're going to be racing in, and it is definitely the responsibility of the organizers to ensure a safe environment, but the riders as well need to be on hyper alert mode 24/7, because at the drop of a hat, you never know what's going to happen. You need to be ready to deal with the worst of worst situations.
Totally agree. You never know what happens. Just a split-second decision that changes everything in the course of the race. We saw in the men's elite race, we had a big crash at the end. Anything, we never know what happens during the race, and it's up to us to be extremely hyperactive and alert.
And I don't know if you realized, but it was after that crash in the men's elite race that the final action actually took place, because when that crash happened, there was a lot of dysfunction in the bunch, and that's when a lot of attacks went through, and I think that's when the final breakaway of 3 also made their gap. Yeah,
there were some really alert people who took advantage of that little crash with the chaos and commotion that has happened. And they must have had some really good technical bike skills as well to dodge from the crash and get themselves to the break up ahead as well. And these guys are in the final stretch now. Right, just before these guys finish, a little recap of the route which the 24 kilometer guys have taken. They cross various landmarks like the MGM Disney World, the Mutukadu Boathouse, and then they finish back where they started at Mayajal. Just to give you guys a little info on how the 24 kilometer race is happening. And we are back live to the finish line. I see some people who are up. Oh, he's just asking for someone to take a turn in the front, that's really not a good strategy.
No,
Asking
no,
for
no,
help.
no. I think he was asking more for race information because I'm pretty sure he wants to know how far away the finish line is. But that's a question that I have as well. How much time do we have left before we reach the finish?
They're just about a kilometer and a half away, Parshu. It's not far now. I think the green riders are waiting to be flagged off right now. If I'm not wrong, both men's and women's are going to be flagged off. It's Dr. Atulya Mishra. And there we go. The flag off's done. Mishra, sorry. For the green riders. And I think right now we should have the finish happening soon as well.
A huge event such as this one is impossible without the support of so many different bodies, and the government of Tamil Nadu has played a huge role in successfully executing this event. So hats off to them, hats off to HCL, and all the other sponsors as well. We've got our organic refreshment partner Akshay Kalpa Organic. We've got our medical trauma partner Apollo Proton Cancer Centers. And we've also got one of my favorite brands for nutrition, which is the Whole Truth, as the nutrition partner for today's event.
Absolutely, Parshu. Brilliant job done by the TN police as well. They've been here. I mean, I reached the venue at around 4 a.m. in the morning, and on my way, right from when I entered ECR, I could see a lot of police who've been marshalling the roads, keeping it a very safe place for all the riders to turn up. And I think they've been up for a very long time. And these are still the remnants of the previous event, the 50 kilometer amateur riders. And we seem to have some sort of a break. Oh, there we go. We are back on live. We're just waiting for the, as we are currently on, we're just waiting for the 24 kilometers amateur men's race to come to an end. They should be very close to the finish line right now.
Really excited to see what that finish is going to look like. Circling back to the topic about differences between elite riders versus amateur riders, one of the things that I have been noticing very closely is the difference in their pedal stroke itself. When you're watching an elite peloton racing, you can see how streamlined their feet are. And as opposed to that, when you look at an amateur bunch, you can see the knees wobbling all over the place. You can see their upper body shaking with each pedal stroke. So all of these little insights are essential to understanding. I mean, you can see the difference between a pro rider versus an amateur rider through these small pointers.
Yeah, I mean, I think Nigel will have a little bit more information to shed on this particular part of our discussion. But right now, I think one of the visuals earlier suggested that these guys for the 24 kilometer amateur men's race are almost at the finish, and they are having a little bird's eye view of where we are right now. If we could just switch back to the men's amateur finish. We're still looking at the green riders. Basically, we had, as we had mentioned earlier, there are about 1,000 plus riders who've turned up for just to have a little fun, get themselves onto the fitness journey. As you can see, everybody is wearing nice t-shirts on their little nice bicycles, and they're just moving one by one. And I think the finish just happened, if I'm not wrong, for the men's 24 kilometers amateur race. Not really sure who won, but it'll be, I think we'll get a visual of it soon. These are still riders who are leaving for the green ride.
Yes, the release of riders for the green ride seems to be very sensible and controlled, so we're not seeing masses of riders all trying to sprint off together. And it's good that the green ride is able to start in this way, so that you can ride on the open closed road, not too close to other cyclists. So it gives you plenty of room. If you're intimidated, if this is the first time that you've ridden like this with other riders. You want a bit of space around you. You want to feel safe. From a coaching point of view, if I was riding with these riders now, I'll be getting them to think about, as already has been mentioned, their posture, their cadence, their balance, and then just practice a couple of skills. Maybe just looking over your right shoulder and ride in a straight line. Or maybe grab a bottle from the bottle cage and drink while on the move. Little things like that will make you a safer and a better rider. And it's events like these where these skills can be promoted and improved.
Absolutely. Events like this go a long way in shaping the future of not just a few people, but the future of our entire country. We all strongly believe that cycling is something that is definitely picking up a lot in India, but there is so much scope for it to pick up a lot more. And HCL Cyclathon is an insane initiative which has brought 12,000 plus people together on their cycles to enjoy the vibe of cycling together as a community. HCL is a $14 billion global conglomerate and the HCL Cyclathon was launched in 2023, the mission being to bring people together from all walks of life through a shared passion for cycling. This initiative has kicked off a one-of-its-kind movement in which cyclists have found the perfect mix of fitness and recreation. Today, HCL Cyclathon is one of the largest road cycling events in India and the highest prize cycling event in Asia. The initiative is hosted in 4 cities, Noida, Chennai and Hyderabad currently, and this year Bengaluru is also part of the HCL Cyclathon family. With this cyclathon, HCL wants to create a platform for elite cyclists to showcase their talent and also to inspire and motivate the young generation to take up cycling not just as a fitness sport, but also to embrace it as a lifestyle choice. So while we've been watching so many different races unfold, the message is not purely for racing. The message is about picking up a cycle and redefining your own lifestyle, improving your health, and improving the health of your community as a whole, because cycling is so good for the environment.
It certainly is, and as a mode of transport, it's extremely efficient. We all know how busy the roads can be. Obviously, that is a barrier for some people to take up cycling as a mode of transport, but I'm sure as the infrastructure in this country continues to be invested in, that we're going to see better and better roads and more opportunities to use our bikes as a mode of transport.
Absolutely agree with you, Nigel and Parshu. I mean, I've been commuting for a very long period of time now just on my bicycle. I've never even bothered to buy a motorbike at all because, apart from keeping the city and the world green, it's a very good form of exercise, even if you are, not doing anything as a sport.
Yeah, absolutely. You can stay healthy and get to work on time at the same time.
And we're just going to run through a quick visual. We're just going to go on and look at what has happened during the last edition in Chennai, 2024 edition right now. So as you can see, this is what has happened during the last year's edition. A whole bunch of riders. Again, this is the 3rd edition, as we had mentioned earlier, and last year's edition was as grand, and we had I think altogether now I think we have about 12,000 plus riders who actually turned up in all these editions across. and you can see some snippets from last year's race. I think this is the women's race, and yeah, as we discussed earlier, some people just turned up to just get their faces on their cameras.
And if it gets people outside and on their bikes, then why not? if that's your motivation, then that's absolutely fine by me.
Yeah, and as we discussed earlier, you can see some technicians over there, the support staff, and this looks like the amateur race, and yeah, all sorts of. And you can see how happy they are. The people who've just turned up, whether you're here for racing or you just turned up to have some fun with your friends, that's what it is all about. It's just about getting yourselves happy and on the bike, and we're back to life. And yeah, as we were discussing before the package rolled out, um, it's such a great way to get yourself a little exercise before you head out to work, or let's say you're stuck in a desk job for majority of your day. Starting the day with a nice bike ride and then ending it, so you don't, even though you don't do anything else during the day, you get that little activity done for the day, and you're done.
Absolutely. And then also, if you're able to use your bike to go to and from work, riding home on your bike is an excellent de-stress, so that you're not walking through the door of your apartment with the day's work activities still buzzing around your head. You've had time to process it, enjoy your environment, enjoy your surroundings, have a little bit of exercise, and just absolutely wind down, so that by the time you get home, you've done your exercise and you've got all of those work stresses gone from your mind.
A really good point there, Nigel. Cycling is a very wholesome exercise in itself. So when we talk about fitness and health, I feel it's important to mention that we have cardiac fitness, which is basically your heart health, and we also have physical fitness, which is the strength and conditioning of your body and your muscles. So cycling does a lot in both of these categories. Cardiac health, it really improves your heart health, just because you're riding for longer periods of time, your heart is working and training. And in terms of physical health, it also helps with the strength and conditioning of your lower body. While cycling is, yes, very wholesome, it does kind of miss out on the upper body strength aspect of it. So as a personal trainer myself, this is one small point that I would like to put forward to all the cyclists out there, that don't ignore your upper body. If you're a cyclist, do some work to strengthen it as well.
I do know some people who are like that. They have huge, massive legs, and then they're extremely skinny up top. And I tell them, go do 10 push-ups, and they'll be like, "What? No, I can't do that." But you're absolutely right. I think Nigel would agree as well. You do need a little bit of upper body strength to keep your core intact as well. That's you can't just have two parts of the body functioning and leave the third one out. But rightly said, Parshu. For all the cyclists out there, if you're listening, please get some upper body work done as well. Don't ignore your push-ups.
Absolutely. And it's the core that supports the body mass on the bike, so that when you see people leaning forward with their hands on the handlebars, ideally you want to have a little bend in the elbow, and you want to be supporting that upper body weight not through the arms but through the core. That's going to enable you to finish your ride in a far fresher physical state, without, typically a lot of people, if your arms are too straight and locked, then you can end up with a little bit of shoulder or neck pain. But bend the elbows, let the arms act as suspension for the upper body, and engage your core.
Absolutely. Engaging your core is a key part to cycling, and it's not just about reducing the load on your shoulders. It's also about when you engage your core. Now, when you're on the cycle, you have basically 3 contact points with the cycle: your legs, which are your feet basically, your bum, which is on the saddle, and your hands, which are on the handlebar. You need to be able to distribute the weight across these 3 points equally, And if you can do that, then that's what really helps you with better balance and agility on a bicycle. So it's really key to have a core that is strong enough and engaged enough to take that load in order to be comfortable on the cycle, to be technically a good cyclist that can react quickly to situations. And yeah.
One thing that we haven't spoken about, and I'm reminded of now, is obviously everyone's wearing a helmet, and there was a no helmet, no ride policy for people participating, so that the safety aspect is covered. You don't need to spend a lot of money on a helmet. There are plenty available to suit all budgets. They're very lightweight, they're very comfortable, and hopefully, as we can see from these participants in the green ride, it's second nature. The only thing you need apart from your bike is a helmet.
100% agree with that, Nigel. As we just see I think we missed the finish for the MTB race. But getting back to the helmet topic, I think that's something that it's become a norm now, right? Wherever you go, whatever you do, if you're in a bike shop, if you're even test riding a bike, right? For example, Pro Bikers always gives you a little helmet to ride it on. Doesn't matter if you're taking it out for a test or if you're purchasing one, you always urge to buy the helmet just to make sure that your head's safe. And if you fall down, that's the helmet's just going to break your fall. And it's vital that everyone is more responsible, and getting their helmets along with their riding gear.
Well, my helmet has saved my life once, definitely. How about you guys? Have you ever been saved by a helmet?
Multiple times. I can't. I still have the first helmet when I crashed on it for the first time. It's got a really nice cut inside the helmet and not outside. So from the outside, it looks spick and span, but even though it doesn't look damaged, it did, protect my head from the fall. And yeah, I can't believe, and it was not just me falling at a very slow speed. I think it was about some 60, 62 kmph an hour while sprinting, and then next thing I know, I'm on the floor. But yeah, helmets definitely saves lives.
I've been riding for more than 12 years now, I think, and I've been wearing a helmet for each and every ride of mine. And I can count just 2 times when I've had a crash in which my helmet has actually taken impact. So 12 years and just 2 crashes. The odds are that I will not crash on today's ride or tomorrow's ride or any ride this year as well. But I've just gotten comfortable with wearing a helmet. So buying the right size is important so that you don't, you're not uncomfortable in a helmet. And it is so worth it for when you actually do crash, because in the one crash that I was talking about, I could have fractured my skull. But what ended up happening is I just fractured my helmet, which broke into two while taking the impact to protect my skull.
Yeah, I was going to add that whilst we're not trying to scare people as with regards to the dangers of riding a bike, think of it as the helmet protects you from other people. You can't control errant taxi drivers or people that haven't seen you or people that make an error, but you can protect yourself from them as much as possible. The other thing that we were talking about earlier was bike handling skills. Improve your skills on the bike, improve your ability to look over both shoulders, to ride one-handed, and all the time be aware of what's going on around you. All of those skills, which hopefully some of the people on this green ride are thinking about, they're the sorts of things that actually protect you. As we said, the helmet, and taking racing out of this discussion, the helmet, what I like to think is it protects me from other people that I can't control.
Absolutely, Nigel. I think some of the other things, again, we see some dangerous hand position on the bike again, which is not advisable. to anyone who is thinking of riding a bike, please make sure that your hands are always on your handlebars. And as we were discussing, that's something that the riders, I mean, I encourage anyone whom I know or who's been riding with me, I always encourage them to, to let go of one of their, ride with a single arm, or get a water bottle whilst you're riding in a pace line. All these small things actually make a lot of difference when you're riding. And it's a split. It again, you'll always have to be hyper alert, as Parshu said. And even though you are perfectly all right, there's always the error from another rider which might happen. And the helmet being one thing that will save you, the other thing which will give you a hand would be reflexes and being hyperactive. And you get those things only by practice, right? You keep on practicing, and that's when you understand how the things work, or where you have to, dodge, or if there's a small pothole up in the front, how quickly you can react to it without hindering the others whilst riding.
Yeah, absolutely. And if you have access to even a stretch of traffic-free broken road that's under construction, go and ride on it. Practice those skills. Um, and all of the skills, and I preach this to all of my clients. It's all about low speed balance. If you can balance the bike at 1 or 2 kph, and you can ride one-handed across slightly rough terrain and keep the bike upright and keep the bike balanced, try doing it without putting your feet down. That's your challenge. All of these things make you a safer rider for yourself when you're out on the bike.
100% agree to that. It's not riding fast which matters when it comes to balancing yourself. Now, it's actually riding slow and getting yourselves to balance yourselves on the bikes. And I've done some drills with my friends as well, where we put some bidons or water bottles in the bottom of the on the surface of the road, and where we slow down and try to pick it up with one of our hands. That's a little advanced balancing techniques that we learned. But whenever there's a new rider who's there, we just ask them to slow down and stop at a particular place. We give them a little marker so that they can stop and balance themselves without putting their legs down on the floor. Yeah.
And that builds nicely into an exercise that I introduce when I'm coaching new riders or kids. We'll just have a straight, say, 30, 40, 50 meter stretch of road. And then we'll say to the kids, okay, this is a race. And they get all excited. And then we say, last one wins. Slowest rider wins. But you're not allowed to put your feet down, and you're not allowed to turn around and go backwards.
Yeah, that's a little fun. I think Parshu would agree. We've had this slow cycling events in all our schooling. Whenever there's an sports day or something, this is one of the races that would actually feature as an event. And it's not for a 50 or a 30 kilometers. Unfortunately, it'll probably be for 100-meter, or even sometimes lesser than that. But yeah, slow cycling is something that we've been used to riding from a long period of time. Parshu?
Yeah, I work a job where I recently hosted a slow cycling race for an entire community.
Nice.
In fact, so it was less than 30 meters, but we had some kids who were able to take more than 60 seconds to finish that course.
Wow.
Which is really it's impressive for kids, and it is a really good way to get them to learn the basics of bike handling in a better, more wholesome manner.
Absolutely, Parshu. Again, bike handling, getting the right gear, knowing, the surroundings whilst you are riding on the road. And, these are some of the aspects which makes cycling a great sport, right? Once you get the basics right, you're going to have a lot of fun on the road. Whether you're racing, whether you're riding for fun, whether you're just going out for a coffee with your friends or a morning breakfast ride, whatever it might be, you get the basics right, and then you're going to have a lot of fun. And as we've all been cycling for a long time now, and I think we'll all agree to that. It's definitely one of the enjoyable and best sports out there for people.
It absolutely is. And going back to what you're saying, with kids, we introduce games at the end of sessions, and the games are fun, and the games are all skill based. It's never about who's got the fastest legs or who's got the biggest lungs. It's who's got the best skills. And it's encouraging the kids to play those games on their bikes, like the slow races.
For today, but we've just had a few drops, a small drizzle here and there, but nothing serious yet. And given how this year's monsoon has been hitting not just Chennai but every city in India, I'm really thankful and grateful, especially because of it ensures just better safety for all of our elite and amateur athletes on course today, that we didn't see any crazy rains.
Yes. It's the weather has really shone favourably upon us, and what we were seeing on our screen just a minute ago was, I think it's the first of the Green Riders. He's caught up the remnants of the MTB and amateur 24k races, and we can see Green Riders on the return leg approaching the finish. So very soon we're going to have our first Green Riders crossing the line.
One of my first experiences in cycling was very similar to this one. I showed up at a race in New Delhi when I was in college back then, and I was in an amateur category race, and I had the pleasure to witness what Indian elite athletes, what their races looked like. And soon after that, in my race, I got to witness what kind of level the sport is at at the amateur level as well. And for the 2,000 plus cyclists that have showed up here today morning from 5 a.m. onwards, I think each and every one of them can go back with a lot of knowledge gained regarding cycling, not just as a sport, but as a lifestyle choice as well.
Absolutely. The more of these riders that we can get to get back on their bike next week, hopefully after being encouraged by participating in one of today's events, the better. This is why we're so thankful to companies like HCL for investing in these kind of initiatives. We want to see people having fun on Sunday, and then perhaps using their bike, even if it's only for one journey next week. And if everyone keeps doing that, and if every event encourages more and more people, then we're going to have a healthier population and a cleaner environment as well.
And also, it's so evident to notice that this is, despite this being just the green ride of 15 kilometers where participants are coming out for a leisurely, pleasant... Oh, are we back to the MTB race? No, this is the green ride, right?
No, they've got... Sorry, I think these guys with the blue were amateur 24k or MTB.
These guys are definitely the... they're not the MTB finish. We had the MTB finish earlier. I think this is just somebody who wants to end the race. I mean, in today's ride. Come again?
And here we have confirmation of the elite men's winners. It was in fact Dilawar who took first place. really experienced rider with more than 12 years of riding at the national and international levels under his belt. Really happy to see him come back with a solid performance against so many younger athletes.
It's a close win. He's just 2 seconds ahead of them, but that 2 seconds makes a lot of difference.
2 milliseconds, Michael.
Yeah.
2 milliseconds.
Oh, sorry, my bad. No,
So it's 2 milliseconds. Yeah, the top three on the
it's-
day were from a small breakaway, and Emil is in fact a very surprise second place for me, because I know Emil and I know his style of riding.
Yeah.
I would not have expected to see him up here in second place, especially given how packed the field is with solid riders. But
along with Firamoth as well, if I'm not wrong, both these guys are silent horses. They don't put themselves out in the front of the peloton much now, but they manage themselves to get in a nice breakaway, and with the crash happening towards the end as well. Uh, yeah, and they were able to get themselves, and we have now the men's 50-kilometer amateur results. And Nigel, you see the speeds are much higher than what we had expected. That's 38.8 kmph.
I think relatively the amateurs have probably done a better performance than the elites. We expected the elites to be over 45 kph, and we and they were just 1 or 2 kph below that. But looking at the amateur men, yeah, high 30s. But we can see what a few kph difference makes. So the finish time of the amateur 50k was 1 hour 15 minutes, whereas the elites was 1 hour and 6 minutes. So a 9-minute difference.
But I mean, if you see this top 10, it's extremely close with the bunch there. It was just 1 or 2 seconds gap between almost all the top 10 in the list there.
Yes, I'm sure there would have been a very frantic sprint for the top 10, and obviously the top 10 means prize money.
Yeah, I mean, we're just getting all the results from today's ones, and this is the women's. No, there's some error in the screen. We still have the men's elite 50-kilometer one. We'll circle back to this, but as you can see, the breakaway was not that far back. They were just about 15 seconds
Yeah,
back.
15, 16 seconds. Yes. So I think what our pictures failed to pick up was when that break either got away, or we could see the bunch just sort of hesitating and looking at each other and fanning out across the road. So there was just a little bit of hesitation. Given the average speed of the elite race, you would have thought that there would have still been some fresh legs in there, someone to really hit out and either close that break down or use that break as a launch pad for their own sprint.
Which is part of the beauty of this sport, I would say, as opposed to any other sport where you have either one team winning the game, or any one out of a few players winning. In cycling, in road cycling, today we had 90 plus starters in the professional men's category, and any one of those 90 men could have won the race. And although we had put together a list of 10 favorites for the win, Dilawar was not in that list, because just on the basis of recent performances at national championships and national level races, he didn't make his way up to that list, although he is a high quality rider. But that just goes to prove the incredibly versatile kind of races that we can see in this sport, where you can never really predict what's going to happen.
Yeah, I mean, we've had all sorts of riders who've been riding, in different races. I think we are getting up the MTB races results, but going back to the elite before the graphic pops up, we've had some, as I said, some wild horses turn up today, and I think the names from these lists will definitely be looked upon for the upcoming races, in Bangalore or Chennai or wherever. And here, as I said, we have the amateur men's MTB race, and I think there is some error with the
With the speeds, yeah, the average speeds of the
definitely,
top top three.
um, yeah, there's some, but we'll just look at the names. That's Vinay Goswami, Sagar Santi, Yash Yadav, your 1, 2, 3 on the day. And circling back to the men's elite race, um, 15 seconds is not a lot of time. And as Nigel said, uh, someone in that bunch would have had the energy to to close that down, but I think they just got a little bit carried away with all the cat and mouse games that was happening with all the chases just before the crash. There was a lot of attacks being thrown by one particular rider who was in the white jersey. I didn't get to see his name. And there was others chasing the attacks down. Had they worked together, I think there were some people who are there in the bunch back who had some team members with them. They should have just all gone together as a group, is what I feel.
Once again, that's part of what leads to the beauty of cycle racing, because when there's a group of three riders who are just 10 to 15 seconds ahead of you and you have fresh legs, that does not mean that you use your fresh legs to chase them down, because when you do that, by the time you bridge that gap, your legs are not fresh anymore, and you are also most likely dragging a lot of other fresh legs along with you from the peloton to the lead of the race. So you would have essentially utilized your fresh legs to give somebody else a much better chance at winning the race, which is where I think teamwork comes into the picture is again. So when there are three people in the lead of the race, then what's really important for anybody who's back in the peloton and wanting to win the race is to have a teammate who can bridge that gap for you, so that you can maintain your fresh legs, sit in the bunch, see that gap being bridged, and then time your attack or your sprint to perfection so that you can end up winning the race.
Hopefully in future editions we can see different tactics played out. It'll be different climatic conditions and maybe different wind and elevation profile, and we'll see the bunch behaving differently, trying different things. But I think today the first three guys that were away, they chanced their arm, and I would say it was a combination of their bravery in trying something and the bunch's hesitation. You could almost say the bunch let them win because they were just arguing amongst themselves as to what to do.
Absolutely. I mean, now that, as you said, now that this race has played out like this, I'm sure in the next edition there's going to be people on the lookout for such tactics again, and I'm sure that they're not going to let the break go away that easily next time. Now that they've seen what's happening, what has happened when they let the break go out, and it was just 15 seconds. It's not a lot. I mean, over a 50-kilometer course, 15 seconds is definitely not a lot. They could have just...
On a flat course like that, we would have expected to have seen higher speeds and a bigger bunch at the finish. But we didn't see the crash, and we didn't see the details around the crash, and we didn't see who got caught behind it. So maybe that's what we saw eventually was affected by the crash. I'm sure when we talk to our friends that were racing, and we've all got friends in the peloton, we'll find out a little bit more as to exactly what went on.
Yeah, I think we'll get to know more information as we get to talk to them. And we're getting more visuals right now, but I think we're just heading over to the presentation ceremony. I think the riders are back, and they're just going to start off with the presentation ceremony right now. We'll just while we wait for the screen to transition. We don't know what has happened with the crash, but once we get some details, I'd say 44 kilometers on a day like this is okay. If you agree with me.
Yeah, it's okay. It wasn't super hard and it wasn't super fast. It wasn't super slow. It was okay. as an impartial observer with a one eye on kind of cycling performance. That's yeah.
Yeah, and let's see the winners right now. I think we're just heading over to the presentation ceremony where we have the top three finishers from each category. We're still waiting on the visuals, but we're just heading over to the presentation ceremony now.
Taking that breakfast in your hand and eating it well with a big smile. All the lovely scenes I can witness from the stage. The results are here with me. We're ready to announce the results in just next 10 minutes more. But then before we announce the results, we want to know how was your ride today? If it was great, you're going to make some noise. How was your ride? Lovely. That's great. That's nice. Just taking a moment to thank all our fantastic sponsors and partners. Firstly, thanking the government of Tamil Nadu. Can we clap for them for the fabulous support, and CFI for being the backbones? Yes. And now, our organic refreshment partners, Akshay Kalpa, our venue partners, Multiplex Mayajal, recovery partner, High Price, medical trauma partner, Apollo, nutrition partner, The Whole Truth, bike tech partners, Just Bicycles and Pro Bikers, and corporate wellness partners, HCL Healthcare. Fantastic. 2 days of the BIP distribution at the Nexus Mall and now here at the Mayajal Multiplex. As a family of HCL, growing from 1,300 in number to 12,000 plus and still counting more. Fantastic. You know what? This time we have also adopted one more city as our baby. Yes. After Chennai, on November 9th, we are hailing for Hyderabad. And in December, we are hailing for Bangalore. And in the month of March, we are back to Noida and then Chennai. As always, the best of the cities who make this event the most successful has been Chennai for all of us. So can we make a louder noise for Chennai? You are the rock stars, you are the champions who make it possible. Thank you so much. And if any one of your friends or family members or you would like to travel to other cities, the registrations are already open for Hyderabad and we're still counting. So come, let's join the vibe of Hyderabad crowd and the roads, as every time it's a different experience altogether. I request people who have not yet collected your refreshments to please go, collect your refreshments and come back. It's been a tiring day, right? And thank God we did not have the rain so far. Otherwise, I would have seen you all sweaty and wetty here, isn't it? So my dear friends, I call all my riders to please come at the center stage as we are announcing the results in the next 5 minutes from now. I want everyone to stay hydrated. Make use of this opportunity, standing with your friends, your pals, and hashtag HCL Cyclothon Chennai 2025. Tag on Instagram page HCL Cyclothon event because we want to see you all on the same platform.
And that's a little presentation done, and we are still looking at the green riders and some of the MTB riders who are just coming through the finish line right now. Since we had a lot of people riding in today, we'll be seeing an ocean of orange coming across the finish line soon. Right, Parashu, whilst these guys are turning up, I mean, we've already circled back on this topic multiple times, but let's get back to, um, where the future of Indian cycling is heading towards. How do you, from your experience in riding in Belgium and here as well, what do you think is the current scenario and where do we see ourselves?
Well, that's a very good question. And with regards to the future of Indian cycling, I would say there's two ways to look at it. The way that I'm more used to looking at it is by considering the racing aspect of it. And honestly, in the road racing scene, internationally, we are not going to go anywhere close to the Europeans or the Americans or the Canadians if we have only, one race or four races on our calendar year. So if we really want to improve the sport of road cycling in India, we need to have access to more and more races for all of our riders. And just to give some context to that, when you're in Europe, when you're in Belgium, which is kind of like the mecca for road racing in the world, um, riders have an access to 5 to 6 cycle races per day.
Wow,
5 to 6 per
That's a lot of
day.
races.
So I can wake up today morning, have a look at what races are happening, and pick whichever one I want to go and race at. And each one of these races will have a field of 50 to 150 riders, all of whom are bound to be stronger than the best Indian racers, just purely because they race so often. Indian elite sport, on the other hand, we have some very, very, very dedicated, disciplined riders who are training day in, day out, who are riding maybe just as many kilometers as the guys abroad are riding. But if you don't give them access to races, then they are not going to be able to bridge that gap in fitness.
That's absolutely true, Parshu. I mean, I think HCL has already done a great job in introducing this particular race in 4 different cities, and we really hope they increase the number of races and also the number of cities that where these riders can go and get themselves exposed to some high octane racing. And this being a very nice pan flat course with a scenic view, and I can't wait to see what Bangalore has in store for us. But I think Nigel has some inputs on the future of Indian cycling as a coach himself, and he's trained a lot of young athletes, up and coming athletes. Go ahead, Nigel.
Yeah, building on what you were both discussing there, it's giving the elite riders access to more races. You would expect in a year to be racing anywhere between 30 and 60 times a year. In the summer months, you might be racing twice a week. There's also the option in Europe, as many, many riders do now, they'll race cyclocross in the winter. Its cyclocross races are just a maximum of 1 hour in duration. But what you're getting out of that is you're getting your intensive workout because it's 1 hour, maybe 10 laps of a 6 minute course, but you're developing your bike handling skills as well. So from the kids, the under 12s, they're racing, basically it's cross country racing on bikes. So if they have a crash, they're falling at low speed on soft ground and there's no traffic. So by the time those kids get to the point where they're doing road races, when they're sort of 17, 18 years old,
Yeah.
they have all the skills necessary to ride in a bunch, to ride fast, to know what's going on, to handle their bike in any given situation. And you get that from racing and then racing and then racing.
Yeah, I mean, that's absolutely true. I think most of the children, internationally, they start off at a very young age, let's say 10, 12 years old. They start off with either cyclocross, as you said, or just mountain biking. I think most of the superstars of the cycling world have all their roots down to the mountain biking, and where they get their
Yeah,
skills. And we'll circle back to that. I think we're just heading on to the presentation ceremony again for the awards right now.
I want more people to join us. We want to see the energy of all the riders, passionate riders, dynamic people of here.
Yeah, so I think there's a slight delay in the presentation, Nigel, but we'll get back to where we were. As I said, the cycling superstars of the world, your Matthew Van Der Poel, Wout van Aert, all these guys, started off with their journey in mountain bike and cyclocross, and they've been, you know, taking the world by storm. Yeah.
Yes, so we're seeing the professionals pave the way as being multidiscipline. Van Aert, Pidcock, Van der Poel all have World Championship cyclocross titles to their name. Pidcock and Van der Poel both race still MTB. And we're also seeing that in the women's side of racing as well. And so looping back to when we were talking about the future of Indian elite cycling,
Yeah.
I would say to any aspiring rider, and Bangalore are very, very good at putting this on. So they put on MTB races and road races. They alternate each month. If you have an MTB bike, go and do an MTB race because it's another race. If you don't have an MTB bike, borrow one of your friends.
Yeah.
As we say in coaching, pedaling is pedaling. And the off-road bike handling skills that you will develop are transferable, as you saw in that epic 2022 Tour de France stage when Pidcock won on Alpe d'Huez.
Oh, yeah.
He escaped on the Galibier descent.
Exactly.
That's what gave him and where did he learn to descend like that? Well, he learned to ride an MTB bike very, very, very quickly.
Yeah, I think he was doing about 90 to 100 kilometers on that descent, and he even overtook these video camera guys on their motorbikes.
Absolutely, yeah. And so if we look at what the pros are doing, don't pigeonhole yourself as whether you're an MTB rider or a sprinter or a climber. In European cycling, you might have a very, very good 18-year-old that's won time trials. But by the time they get through the under 23s and maybe they're looking at a pro contract, future teams are looking at them saying, well, actually, we don't think you are this. We think you're something else. Let's not forget Tom Pidcock again, and I'm using him because he's a British rider. So
yeah.
I've
Much easier to relate.
Yeah, exactly. But he was junior world time trial champion. Now, would you expect to see Pidcock winning a big TT race now? No.
I don't think so. No, he's shifted his discipline towards MTB,
but he's too small.
Exactly, yeah.
So, him at 16, 17 saying I'm a time trialist, well, clearly you're not. You're something else.
Yeah.
And so what I'm saying, the kind of the motivation to the kids that are watching this or out riding today is don't pigeonhole yourself. You don't know what you can be and you don't know what you will become. Just get out, ride your bike. Ride your bike and do as many events as you can. And it doesn't matter if it's a time trial, if it's a road race, if it's MTB, if it's climbing, if it's sprinting, just ride.
Absolutely, Nigel, I have to completely agree with that. And with the racing part of things, there's a lot of cycling clubs here in Chennai, in Bangalore, as you said, where there are races being held monthly. If you have an MTB, you just grab an MTB and go. And then there's road races, there's time trials. I would personally encourage all the people who are watching, or whether you're racing, not racing, whether you just tuned in to see some of your friends take part in this event. If you have a bike, just go and try it out, right? You might like it, you might not like it, but then if you're really serious into learning the things, or if you want to take part in the races, go grab yourself a friend who knows what he's doing and get them to take you to a race and have fun at it. The idea is to have fun whilst you're learning it. It's not just going through, putting yourselves through hours and hours of work, and not have fun at the end of it.
Absolutely. As I said at the beginning of this coverage, we play sport and play is fun. And linking that back to sort of typical European performance pathways, you'll often see the 16-year-old kids that are winning on, say, cycling. They might be a very, very good swimmer or runner or footballer or cricketer. And it's not until about age 16 that you start to ask the kids to think about prioritizing, because it has to be their choice. You can't force them to say, you're best at that sport, try that. They have to be happy in what they're doing.
I think we have a live example here with us, who's sitting right here, who started off his roots as a footballer and then shifted to cycling. Parshu, you have your thoughts on that?
Absolutely. I think it's very, very important that kids, all the way leading up to 14 to 16 years of age, are allowed to experience multiple sports, because that's what develops your hand-eye coordination, your various strength systems, and football for me has helped me to develop a peripheral vision, because I'm always scanning on the football pitch. That came to me as second nature in cycling as a sport as well, and that's what helped me to make sure that I know which moves are the right moves to follow, and when to be ready for attacks and all of that. So football helped me a lot as a cyclist, but um, I am just a small example. If you move on to the world stage, you have Remco Evenepoel, who used to be a professional footballer until he was 16 years old before he switched to road cycling. And how I think that has helped him is his physicality has developed so differently from all the other cyclists in the pro peloton, that he has an X factor in terms of just purely how much power he's able to put out, what kind of aerodynamic positions he's able to hold on the bike. And these are two small weapons which help him to outperform the rest so frequently.
And let's not forget that Roglic was a ski jumper.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I was just going to say that Primoz as well has been, he's. I think during his off season, he went back to ski jumping for a bit, just so that he doesn't lose out on that. And again, it's a high adrenaline, high octane sport when it comes to transferring the skills that you've learned. It's not just football or some other activity where you can get your skills transferred, as long as you are in the right space with the right amount of guidance and fitness levels that you have. And I'm stressing on the guidance part of things, where unless you are guided by a right person or a right organization, you're never going to know what you're good at or what you're actually capable of.
Absolutely. You have to enjoy whatever sport you partake in. And the biggest advice for, say, an under 16 is just to perfect the skills. Perfect the skills first. The fitness and endurance, that will just come from doing it more and more and more. Mm-hmm. But if you don't perfect the skill side of it early on, that's the hardest bit to achieve. And I know from talking to European performance managers that look to place promising riders in development teams, that the kids have to be made aware that when you join these teams, you're not going to be coached how to put on a rain jacket descending no-handed, freezing cold on an alpine pass. They expect you to be all ready to be able to do that.
Yeah, and they expect you, if you don't know, they expect you to learn. And I think we're just back to the presentation right now. We will head over right now to the presentation.
Welcome to you, sir. And Rajat sir, I request you to please present a memento to our chief guests and guests of honor. Firstly, we would like you to present the memento to our chief guest today, Dr. Atulya sir. Warm welcome to you. Atulya Mishra ji, in midst of all of us, who is the Additional Chief Secretary, Government of Tamil Nadu. We are delighted that the Government of Tamil Nadu has extended a huge support to all of us to implement the HCL Cyclathon 3rd edition of Chennai. And now I request the memento to be presented to our guest of honor, Meghnatha Reddy sir. Please, let's welcome him on stage with us. Sir, thank you very much, and under your midst busy schedule, you all have joined us. Let's put our hands together, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you, and Rajat sir, I would like you to do the honors of presenting this memento to Maninder Pal Singh sir, Secretary of CFI. A warm welcome to you, sir. Great champions and dignitaries on stage with us. We are delighted to have the support of leaders like you on stage. Atulya sir to please speak a few words on this occasion as we all are waiting to hear from you, sir. Over to you. Can we cheer for the gentleman as he walks up?
Respected Meghnad ji, Mahendrapal Singh ji, the entire team of the HCL Cyclothon. This is the third year we are standing in front of you. It was our Honorable Deputy CM who envisaged this idea that this big event should be a part of the Chennai itinerary. A lot of hurdles were faced. The route had to be decided. The cooperation of people was very, very necessary. It was a logistic task. We had to train everyone. And today we are in the third year of the big cyclothon. I thank the HCL, their entire team, the federation, the Cycle Federation, which is doing a great job in Tamil Nadu. We are doing well in the track side of it. We are doing well on the road side of it. And we are very soon going to build up a BMX. So Tamil Nadu will be one of the very few states which will have a velodrome, a BMX, in addition to the road cycling. So I thank all of you. I will now will be anyway meeting the cyclists who have won. And we also have Sudhakar here, one of the most promising administrator in cycling. So I thank all of you with Meghnad, with Mahendrapal Singh ji, with Sudhakar, with the entire team of HCL. We'll be certainly doing very well in cycling and we'll be bringing laurels to our state and to our country. Nandri Vanakkam.
Thank you very much, sir, for the kind words. It's always with the support of the police and the government that events like this on a large scale take place. So thank you very much once again to the government of Tamil Nadu. I request the dignitaries to please join for one group picture before we move forward. Let's frame this beautiful moment together at once. And I request all the ladies and gentlemen, the pro elite riders, to be ready as we are announcing the names now. We will be starting with the female and then the male, second runner-up, first runner-up, and then the winner, and that's the sequence. The winners whose names are being called out, I request you to join us from the barricades. We have our bouncers ready, our friends ready to verify your bib and then send you inside, and you walk up from here and you exit from there. So, my dear friends, this is the third edition of HCL Cyclothon Chennai. Are you all ready for the results? I can't hear you enough. Are you ready? Fantastic. So with this energy, I request Atulya Mishra sir to please step forward as I would like you to present the awards for the category. Professional Elite 50-kilometer race, female. And the second runner-up is bib number 124, Chanika Gogai. Congratulations! Bib number 124, the second runner-up. And congratulations to you. Request the rider to come forward. Bib number 124. Congratulations. As the rider is running and coming on stage with us, let's get ready to cheer. Bib number 124, Chayanika Gogai. Congratulations to you, my dear. Super proud of you. Warm welcome. And let's hear it for the lady. Bib number 124. Congratulations. Presenting the memento and also presenting the check. And that is 80,000 Indian rupees. Congratulations. And now I request Chai to please step up. Calling the first runner-up, that is the second position, which is bib number 143, Himanshi Singh. Congratulations, Himanshi. Requesting everyone to stand on the podium, and we would like to honor the champion, the winner, and that is bib number 122 Swasti Singh. Congratulations, Swasti! Marking and marching all the way to the stage. Congratulations, champion. Step up on the podium. We would like to grace your presence with the check as well as a memento. What a moment of honor this is for the Chennai 3rd edition. Let's hear it for the champ. Congratulations to the winners. And can we have one picture of all of three together? Marking your names in the history of the 3rd edition of the Chennai HCL Cyclothon. Lift your trophy higher. Yay! Look at the bright smile. Congratulations and thank you very much, girls. You've been fantastic. I request you to carefully march your way. And now, my dear friends, we are ready and excited to announce the professional elite riders, male, 50 kilometers. But then can I hear you? Are you excited and ready? Lovely. Okay. So I request as I call your names, the riders to be at the forefront. And the second runner-up is bib number 105. Congratulations, Piramod! The champion is marching forward. Atulya sir, I request you to please present the memento to the champion as the second runner-up on the 3rd place, 105 Piramod. Let's hear it for him! The first runner-up is bib number 22, Emil Joseph. Congratulations! What a lovely squad you all are, cheering for the champion. Yay! And the winner on the first place is bib number 79, Dilavar. Congratulations to the champion, Dilavar, joining us on stage. Let's hear it now for him. He's the one on the first place. Congratulations, gentlemen. Yay! Shout out for all the champions. Congratulations to all of you. Clap for them. And this is only for all three of you. Raise your trophies higher. Yes. Woo! The Chennai champions, professional road race, 50 kilometers are in front of you. Congratulations, boys, and thank you so much. And now, my dear friends, the results are ready for amateur road race 50 kilometers. Where are my yellow bibs? Can I see you? Raise your hands, wave your hands. I want to see where is my amateur road race 50 kilometers category. I can't see you enough. Raise your hands higher or make some noise. Wonderful, wonderful. So get ready. We're starting with the female amateur road race 50 kilometer female and the second runner-up, that is a position 3. Bib number is 398, Jinat Ayub Sayed. Congratulations, Jinat. Let's hear the champion walking us on stage. Give her some place, please. She's joining in. Congratulations to bib number 398. This side. You gotta come from here. Let's welcome and congratulate bib number 398, Jinat Ayub Sayed. Congratulations. Mr. Atul, I request you to please do the honors of presenting the award to the winner. Congratulations to you. the amateur road race 50-kilometer rider 438. While she makes it on stage, let me read out to you the champion, the person on the first place. And that is bib number 774, Ukmi Das. Congratulations, Ukmi! The cycling train racing towards the stage. Very proudly cheering his card. She is the winner, the champion on place 1. Congratulations, Ukmi! I request Uddasa to please come forward and present the memento and the check to none other than 774 Ukmi Das as the champion, the winner of amateur road race 50-kilometer female. Yay! That's how the champions look like, bright, shine, sweating and smiling. Okay, dear champions, can we have one picture of only both of you so that we can have it as a great record? Cheer louder for them! Congratulations, girls, thank you so much. Looking forward to see you motivating more towards a healthy lifestyle. And now, male amateur road race 50-kilometer men, be ready to walk upon the stage, champions. The second runner-up is bib number 529 Pranesh S. Congratulations, Pranesh, bib number 529. Come on, join us on stage. Congratulations, bib number 529 Pranesh. Request Neelam sir as well as Atul sir to please do the honors of presenting the check and the memento. Let's hear it louder for the champions. And now calling the first runner-up on the second place. The bib number is 527 Sohail Bargir. Congratulations, Sohail. I know the feet are jam and walking is slow, but you can make louder noise for them. Congratulations to Sohail. Come on, champions, make noise for the gentlemen on stage. Lovely, congratulations. And now, the winner of the amateur road race male, the top is bib number 541 Kavish. Let's hear it for Kavish. Congratulations, boy. The champions of the third edition of the HCL Cyclothon Chennai are on stage in front of you. The amateur road race 50-kilometer boys. Woohoo! Congratulations to all the champions. This is your time. Just give a great pose. Smile all the way for your victory. Amazing. Congratulations and thank you very much, champions. You've made it. The other category, amateur road race 24-kilometer results are ready with me. Do you want me to announce? How many of you are ready to hear them out? 24-kilometer riders, where are you? Can I see your hands up? All my red bibs, where are you? Red bibs. Wave your hand, I can't hear you enough. Okay, so if you're not making noise, I'm not announcing the results. Can I hear louder from you? Okay, so with this, we can start the female category first. Female second runner-up for 24-kilometer amateur road race. And the person on the third place is bib number 1066 Anushka Raut. Congratulations, Anushka. Anushka. Bib number 1066. Come on, the champion. Let's hear it for 1066 Anushka Rao, second runner-up for Adventure Road Race 24 kilometer. Sundar sir, I request you to please present the award. All right, sir, please, you do the honors. Sudhankar sir, thank you for doing the honors. Congratulations to Anushka. Let's hear it for her. All the champions on stage. Yes. And the first runner-up is bib number 1073, Kirti. Congratulations, Kirti, 1073. Yay, Kirti from here. Amazing. Congratulations to you. All the way on the first runner-up's position. Let's hear it for the champion. And now it gives me immense pleasure to announce the person on the first place, the champion of this edition, bib number 1226, Nandini T. Congratulations, Nandini. Come on, Nandini. So here's the first place is waiting for you. Requesting the dignitaries to please do the honors and present the memento and the check, please. On the stage, we have the champions of the Adventure Road Race 24 kilometers female. Let's clap louder for them. All my champions have won the trophy. Yes. Capturing this moment. Beautiful to see all that smile on your faces. Truly happy for the same. Congratulations and thank you very much, girls, for choosing to be a part of this edition. Looking forward to see you soon. And now, men, Amateur Road Race 24 kilometer race male. The person on the second runner places bib number 1016, Qutbuddin Sheikh. Congratulations to you. Welcoming on stage, Qutbuddin Sheikh, please, 1016. Congratulations to you. Come on, let's make noise for the champion. On the podium, second runner-up, Qutbuddin Sheikh as 1016 bib number. Congratulations. Moment of celebration, isn't it? And now, I announce the person on the first runner-up's place, which is bib number 1056, Santosh M. Congratulations. 1056. Joining us on stage, Santosh with a huge energy. Go for it. Let's hear it for the champion. Congratulations. And now, the champion on the first and Kumar. Congratulations, Kartikeya. All the riders on stage are Amateur Road Race 24 kilometer champions and joining us 1124, Kartikeya Kumar. Hari, congratulations to all the riders and champions. imagining yourself in that place, congratulations, you're in the right track. Because only when you dream big, you will achieve it. Right? So manifest from now that going forward, this position on the podium has to be yours. And once you promise this to yourself, you will make sure that you work hard. And I thank you all my dignitaries for joining us on stage and presenting the award. For the next category, we have a break of 10 minutes as we will be getting the results in a short while. Until then, everyone, please be here with us. Let's enjoy to the music. Let's dance together. Let's celebrate together. Give us a follow on HCL Cyclothon page. Ask questions, tag your friends on social media, take more pictures and videos. Let's stay around for the next set of results coming up in next 10 minutes. Can we have the music? Let's enjoy, everyone.
Okay, I think there's some issue with the audio here, but coming back to our earlier topic, Nigel, when we were discussing on how the world tour pros shifted their had their starts with the mountain biking and other disciplines, and then moved towards getting stronger from there.
Yeah, the opportunity for riders to excel. I'm far more open now in that all the teams, they're not just looking at road, they're looking at MTB, they're looking at cyclocross, they're looking at other disciplines, and riders can start out in one discipline and transfer over. If you've got talent and you've got skills, it's transferable. Parshu, did you want to come in there?
What I would like to add to this point is that okay, today we've had a race. We've seen winners across so many different categories in this race, and what we have not seen are the losers from today's race. So people who did not end up on the podium, people who did not end up in the top 10. We're not seeing their faces, but I've been in their shoes, and I know how much disappointment you feel when you come to such an important race and don't end up with the result. So, to all those riders, what I would like to say is that one race does not define you as a rider. Today's race is very unique. Your abilities as a rider might suit a different race, or your planning, your fitness on different different seasons of the year. You might be much fitter 3 months down the line and end up doing really well at this race, or you might end up tactically getting a lot luckier and ending up with a much better performance. So to all the riders who did not end up getting any sort of good results today, the key is to learn from your mistakes and keep trying. I One of the things that I've seen in Indian cycling is that a lot of riders find reasons to not show up to a race. Oh, it's too far away. Oh, it's not my kind of race. Oh, my team is not going to be there. But what we need to look at is reasons to race. You need to find reasons to race, and every single race that you do is going to be different. You might end up winning a race that you thought you never had a shot at.
Yeah, thanks, Parshu. I think that's extremely correct. But now we are heading back to the presentation as we got the audio back on. Okay, I think, as Parshu was telling us earlier, we are still in the middle of our presentation ceremony, and we had a lovely presentation at that. We saw a bunch of, lots of riders coming up and getting their trophies and their cash prizes thanks to HCL and the generous sponsors for this event. And I think it's just going to take a little bit while before this presentation ceremony ends. And coming back to what Parshu was saying, guys, whoever has raced today, if you hadn't been in the podium, or if you haven't made yourself to the top 10, I would say don't worry about it. And today might not be a day, but there might always be another day where you get to shine. And you never know when your day is next.
As long as you can come away from this race, or whatever race you've done, and either say to yourself, okay, I may not have got the position that I went into the race hoping for, but I did something.
Yeah.
You,
Sorry, Nigel, to cut you short, but here we have a quick display of how HCL has changed the lives of many young and all people across with the Cyclothon edition, starting from 2023 and to where we are right now in 2025, with multiple editions across multiple cities done. As I said earlier during the broadcast, there's almost more than 12,000 people who have signed up for this event. And starting off with just one city, it's now expanded to Chennai, Hyderabad, and now we also have Bangalore in the lineup as well. So we have 4 different cities, and all walks of people, hobbyists, amateurs, pros, all turning up, riding the same route, enjoying the scenery, or giving it their all, trying to get to the top step as well. And as we discussed earlier, we also look forward to having more cities to enter as venues for the HCL Cyclothon, which gives the riders lots of opportunities to race more often. And here we see, the support from CFI, the government of Uttar Pradesh, the government of Tamil Nadu, the SDAT. All of these guys are vital to this event running successfully. And let's go back to Nigel, as you were saying. Please continue. Sorry.
yeah, so hopefully every rider that has turned a pedal today at the 2025 HCL Cyclothon in Chennai has got something out of it. Whether it was the green ride, riding on a road environment for the first time, or whether you race for the first time, we hope you've got something out of the event and you finish with a smile on your face. If you're an elite rider and the results didn't go your way, hopefully you can walk away from this event saying, well, yeah, I contributed to my team. I made it hard for others, or I tried something and it didn't work out, but at least you tried something. That's more than you could have wished for had you stayed at home in bed and not come and supported such a wonderful event.
Absolutely, Nigel. I think that's what every rider should have as a takeaway from today's event. There's many more events, which are going to be heading your way, and not looking at this as a failure, rather than your next step towards growing and becoming stronger as a rider and a person is what I would be looking at. And I would encourage all the other people who's, as Nigel quoted, who's turned a gear aptly, to take this as the next step in what they want to do, rather than looking at this as a defeat, to say so.
Yes, and for the people in the green ride that have finished, don't wait until the next official event. Find some like-minded friends with bicycles and maybe get out again next weekend.
So, with today's race and riding action done, what would you suggest for all of these riders who maybe they got a good result, maybe they can improve, but between now and the next cyclothon, which is going to be, I think, November 6th in Hyderabad, what kind of training would you suggest for these riders who would want to put up a better show in Hyderabad?
Well, firstly, let's start with the green riders or the amateur riders. Just ride your bike 3 times a week. Just develop some fitness, some endurance. The strength and the skills come from repeating it. So to your first point, what training is, first of all, just train. At a higher performance level, if you've been following a regime for 4, 6, 12 weeks, try something different. If you do exactly the same training, you'll get exactly the same results. So do something different. There's always different types of training to incorporate into your regime. Never neglect the skills base that we've spoken about. So being able to ride, to eat and drink, to ride no-handed, one-handed, to put on and remove items of clothing such as arm warmers or rain jackets or stuff like that. You can practice that on your easy rides. And then for your harder rides, just work up and down the power spectrum. So one week do some sprints, the next week do some longer time trial style efforts, but train across the whole spectrum of effort levels, because if you don't use it, you will lose it.
Solid points there. Also, maybe I would like to add to that. Since there are so many different ways of training for races, I think it's very important that you do training that is specific to your next race as well. So, case in point being, if your next race is going to be the HCL Cyclathon in Hyderabad, then you would want to scope out the route first. And if you scope out the Hyderabad route, you will see that we have a really long, 800-meter long incline, which is at about 5 to 6% gradient within 2 kilometers of the finish. So as a rider, it's really important for you to be ready for that kicker, because that's where a lot of difference is going to be made in the race.
I know, right? Compared to this particular, pan flat course, riding in Hyderabad is going to be completely different. It's going to be rolling terrain, and as you rightly said, the finish is going to be a spectacle on its own. And as we're talking about that, we're back on to the presentation right now. Let's go.
I request all of you to please present the award for the next category. We also have Kimberly with us. Kimberly, you've been excellent. Thank you so much for joining us yesterday as well as today. And thank you, sir. Each and every one, you have been the core of the success of Cyclothon Chennai, and wonderful to you. We are ready for announcing the last category of results. My dear friends, attention, attention everyone. HCL Cyclothon Chennai 3rd edition. No doubt it was amazing. It was all possible because of your support. Now we are here to present the Amateur MTB Road Race 24-kilometer Ride Awards category, female and male. So as I call the name, I request the champions, the winners, to please walk up to the stage. We're ready to start? All set? Okay. The bib number, which is on the second runner-up position, is bib number 2017, Nandins Bhaskaran. Congratulations to you. Bib number 2017, Bhaskaran, to please join us on stage. I repeat, 2017, Nandins Bhaskaran, to please join us on stage. Miss Bhaskaran, to please join me on stage. Bib number 2017 as the second runner-up. The first runner-up, yes, waving to me to join us on stage. From that side, from to your right corner. And the person on the first runner-up position is...
Right, we still have
Devadarshini K.
the presentation happening on stage right now.
Joining me on stage is 2017, Miss Bhaskaran. Congratulations. The second runner-up. Kimberly, to please present the memento. BN Singh sir, to please present the check as well. Congratulations to you. Bib number 2140, Devadarshini. Congratulations. Please join us. The first runner-up is here with us, Devadarshini 2140. Climb up. I request Maninder sir to present the... Let's hear it for the champion on stage. Congratulations to you. And now finally, the champion joining me on stage at the first position. Bib number 2144, Dichanya P. Congratulations. Hey, congratulations. Super glad to have you with us. She's the one, the champion of MTB Road Race 24 kilometer 2144. Woo! All the trophies rising higher. Yes. Hold it higher. Congratulations, dear champions. You've made it. Lovely, lovely. Thank you so much. And now we move to the MTB Road Race 24 kilometer male results. And the person on the third position, which is second runner-up, bib number 2085, Harshad Patil. Congratulations, Harshad, bib number 2085. Let's have the champions joining us on stage. The entry towards the stage is from your right corner. Yes, right corner of the stage. Smartly walking up to the stage, 2085, Harshad, congratulations to you. Let's hear it for the winners. Lovely. Now I take the opportunity to announce the first runner-up for the amateur road race, male. 2095, Anvesh Parekh, congratulations. Let's hear it louder for the champion, 2095, Anvesh Parekh. Congratulations! The first runner-up for amateur MTB road race, 24 kilometer male. Presenting the check of 40,000 rupees. And the awardee on the champions list, the topper, the first person to finish the race, bib number 2088, Arnav Sharma. Congratulations! Let's hear it for 2088, Arnav Sharma. Congratulations, champion. They are the champions of MTB Road Race 24 kilometers male. Wonderful. Let's hear it louder for all of them together in one frame, one picture together. Extremely proud to have you here with us. Keep inspiring and motivating others. Thank you, champions. And now, as I told you, thank you very much, dear dignitaries, for joining us. It was absolute pleasure having you with us.
Right. Guys, this has been a brilliant day for us here at the commentary box. And as you can see, we're all chilling out here. Thank you, everybody, for being a part of this wonderful HCL Cyclothon 2025 Chennai edition. This is the third edition, and we've had a brilliant day of racing and fun riding, and with my co-commentators here at this lovely commentary box, Parshu and Nigel here as well. This is a goodbye from all of us here, and we look forward to seeing you all in Hyderabad next, which is November 9th.
I think so. Yes, November 6th or November 9th. I'm not too sure about that right now. But do keep your ear open for more news on that. Thank you, Michael and Nigel. It's been an absolute pleasure to be in the commentary box with the two of you. It's my first experience being a commentator for a race. I enjoyed it, and I hope to have brought some value to all of our viewers out there. I hope to have helped you understand the race a little bit more, and to have enjoyed viewing the race.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely, Parshu. I think we do have a lot more people to thank before we get on to Nigel. We have the CFI, the SDAT, the Tamil Nadu government, the Tamil Nadu police who've been here right from the start of the day, nutrition partners, Akshay Kalpa, and, pro bikers as well, who's been there with us as the technical support. Hyper Ice, who's also the recovery partner for this event, and HCL, all of them who've been here helping us, and the medical trauma partner as well, Apollo Proton, and the corporate wellness partner, HCL Healthcare. So all of them, and especially a big thanks to Mayajal, who's been a great venue partner for us, who've been hosting us from the last couple of days here, and they've given us a little nice place for us to to run this commentary out of. But yeah, thank you everybody, and Nigel, please, closing words.
Okay, thanks to everyone that turned up with their bike and partook in any one of the events, and thanks to everyone that's tuned in to listen to us. Thank you.
Thank you all. Yeah, we look forward to seeing you for the future. Yeah.